Yes.
See my angry octopus in the background?
Yes, I see the angry octopus.
Super mad. You big mad.
Yeah, facts. Let me see. Facebook's good. YouTube's good.
I won't be able to see the comments.
You can't unless you go to your.
I'm going to turn the volume down and go to.
Okay.
That's what I'd be doing. I put it on one of my other screens.
Yeah.
Just put it on one of the other screens, and then
Well, I should have brought my tablet in here and put it on my tablet.
That would have worked as well.
Too late now.
Sure. I mean,
bullshit.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's really stupid. Go ahead and do the sharing and all that other PS.
There's my volume.
There's who, what, when, where, and why.
My volume is still up.
Oh.
I got the other on my phone.
Mercury always falling and her arm always popping off.
Stop knocking stuff over, please.
It's my stuff.
Doesn't matter. Does not matter at all.
Can the people see us?
Yes, the people can see us.
Hi, people. I haven't been on y'all show in so long.
That is correct.
Because my life is busy.
Yeah, Dion is in here.
Hi, twin. Oh, I can't see her comments because I'm not on the Facebook one.
Correct.
So I need 2 devices.
Bro. Relax.
Oh, okay.
I don't even be looking over there because I know James be looking over there. Well, you used to.
Yeah, there was a spell where people weren't doing the Facebook because the YouTube is so much more convenient.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, but I feel like most of my people would join on Facebook.
That's cool.
Let me share it.
Well, go ahead and make sure you share it.
I'm about to.
Yeah. All right, let me find it and share it.
Did my shares.
I'm sharing it on Facebook, but I'm sharing the YouTube link, so maybe they'll come on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do both. What's that? 320 yesterday. Wait, is it not letting me share? I had to do it the old-fashioned way.
Thank you, twin. I don't even know what he said when he said don't talk to her like that. Thank you.
Wasn't even me.
Lies.
No reason for me to lie. All right. That is allegedly shared.
Not allegedly.
Let me do the YouTube as well.
Let's see,
and share, copy link, Facebook. Paste. All right. What up, Sean P?
Sean P. I just saw an old picture of one of my homeboys. So he used to, he still kind of does it, but it's not the focal point of his career right now.
Mm-hmm.
He was an engineer, right?
Oh.
From up in New York. He's engineered on some big ass music projects.
Mm-hmm.
And he posted this picture of him and Sean Price, because he actually worked on some Sean Price's music as well. Like, I mean, he's done some big act show, like DMX type level acts and shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's engineered a lot of big projects that we all be over here going, dan, 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 dan. Yeah. This nigga was right up in there. getting the levels right. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I got it. All right, I got Facebook up, got the stream up, got the YouTube channel up.
I can't believe Sean P beat Biddy.
Yeah, that's surprising.
That's wow.
Where we at? All right. All right. You.
They. Pronounce.
I can't stand y'all.
Oh. Gotta laugh to keep from crying.
Man, listen.
No lies.
Look, I didn't think I was gonna have any. I was gonna have to squeeze some bars for that song that you wanted to do, and actually no, because it's kind of.
Nigga, yo, when I heard it, and I was like, wait, I have the perfect like. And then I put that down, and I was like, yo, when I put that down, I was like, oh, this is two. this is absolutely two. I need that.
I don't have much to.
What up,
oh, wait
sis?
a minute.
Look at
What up, sis?
comment, and he said more than folks does the Birdman hand rub.
I mean, funny enough, I was already doing it. So
we in here.
yeah, we about to get into this.
Let me do this intro really quickly. We.
They? Are we
They
French?
too.
Are we French or are we talking to children? Which one?
Welcome everyone to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man SBJ
You.
and my sister Chrissy.
Hey.
And I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and we are just a few geeks, talking about pop culture from a black perspective.
Facts.
Facts indeed. So I had to do some stretches this morning. Had to do some push-ups.
Mhm.
Couple of run. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Couple of laps around the backyard.
Okay.
Because I knew I was gonna get into a fight today.
I mean,
Somebody getting punched in the mouth today, cause today's the day. Cause here's the thing about all of that.
yeah.
We don't be playing that shit.
Listen.
We don't be playing that shit. Like
Listen.
nah.
All
Mm-mm.
right.
It's
All right.
on.
Wait. Obligatory professionalism comes first.
What's
And then
that?
We can
What's that?
get back to the
Spell it.
I have to, no, stop. All right. So we have real conversations about what's happening behind the scenes in our communities, especially when it comes to accountability, care, and calling things what they are. Today's episode is a little different than what we normally do. It's a little raw. It's definitely necessary, and it's deeply personal for a lot of folks in the Baltimore area, people that happen to be in the mental health community. It also hits home for me personally, literally.
Hits home.
Bars. I mean, I'm just saying. We're talking about Divine Counseling LLC.
What's that?
A mental health organization that in the last couple of weeks quietly eliminated its full-time workforce, delayed payroll, shifted staff to 1099 contractor status, and did everything possible to avoid calling it what it was, a layoff.
Yeah.
Along with not being straightforward with their staff and endangering their clients' mental health. While the public messaging stayed calm and wellness-focused, behind the scenes, there was chaos, confusion, and betrayal. Therapists were left unpaid, mental health days were denied, and in the now infamous moment, the company told employees that this restructuring was temporary. Even while supervisors were told they'd be keeping their benefits. Just a bunch of confusion. And that's where today's guest comes in. I'm joined by a therapist and supervisor who was inside the organization when it all went down. They witnessed the decisions. They were present for the meetings, and today they're here to talk about it. Not just
Okay, so I'll
what
take it from
happened.
here. Listen.
No,
not me. You talking about Chris. Oh, my
Not
fault.
just what happened, but what it felt like to watch it all fall apart from the inside. This conversation is about more than one company. Um, it's about what happens when wellness is weaponized and when organizations that promise healing end up harming their own people. So let's talk about it. Yeah, Chrissy.
Let's do this.
All right, so I guess we'll start off with the interview. I guess that makes the most sense. All right, so can you tell us your title and how long you've worked at Divine?
I started in June of last year, and I started as a hybrid therapist. And then a couple months in, got promoted to a team leader, um, where you supervise just like a couple of other therapists. So at first I was supervising 3, and I think as of present day, I have 5. So yeah, that's been the trajectory. Getting promoted to supervisor in like 2 months was already like, that's weird. But anyway, yes, that's what I started as.
All right, what originally drew you to work with Divine? You gotta speak up, babe. It's hard to hear your little voice.
It's right here.
What I just say?
She
Now?
sounds fine.
Yeah, to you.
Oh, because you can't hear me.
No, Dion said you got to speak up.
Oh, my voice is tiny.
Well, that's exactly what she said. She literally said, "Speak up to it, and it's hard to hear your little voice."
Me.
Oh God.
What was the question again? Now I forgot.
The second question is, what drew you originally to work with Divine?
Oh, because, well, number one, I was moving to this side of town, to West Baltimore, and my job before Divine was all the way on the other side of town, so I was already looking. But Divine had like a mission of being your best self, and Divine was a Black-owned company, and most of the workers were Black. The community they serve, the things that the owner posted that she did and was into in the community, and they were really like chill. Like they were like, you can wear whatever you want, as long, of course, as long as it's appropriate. You can wear what you want. We want you to show up for your clients. We promote work-life balance. We want you to do things within the community with us, but still have a life. Like it was everything that I was like looking for in making the transition.
Okay. So, all right, you actually answered the next question, so that's perfect. About how long? You answered part of this, but I'm still gonna ask the whole question. About how long did it take you to make supervisor? What was your role as a supervisor? What kinds of decisions or communications were you responsible for?
So I want to say I got promoted in September, which was right when my 3-month evaluation was supposed to happen. So they basically said that I would be a team leader. I would have 3 clinicians under me and basically just meet with them, make sure that they're doing okay, make sure they're seeing the clients that they're supposed to see. If you're full time, you had a certain amount of clients you had to have. If you were part time, you had a certain amount of clients. So just making sure they were doing what they were supposed to do, making sure they were showing up for meetings, that their notes were done, meeting with them at least on a bi-weekly basis, and then of course still carrying my own caseload too.
Okay. So, was there a point before this week from hell where you started to realize Divine didn't have everything under control, the way that they sold it? Was there a point where you felt the company wasn't the company that you agreed to work for?
Oh, 100%. It really didn't take that long for me to realize they didn't have it all together, but I've worked for young companies before. So I understand that there are growing pains, so to say, like so to speak, and basically I knew that they weren't going to have everything together. I want to say they started like 2019 or 2020. So I knew that they didn't have it all together. I already knew that there was going to be changes. It's just how fast things started changing that started giving me like, red flag vibes. Like, you're doing too much at one time. They went from you can wear whatever you want to now we want you to be business casual and had this whole list of things you couldn't wear. Okay, I understand. You're trying to be more professional.
So when they said that, how long did they give y'all to comply with that?
Less than a week, I think. I want to say they sent the email out on like a Tuesday, and they were like, by Monday of next week, we expect you to be in business casual attire.
Yeah. When you went from therapist to supervisor, you said it was right before your evaluation. For those, I mean, everybody should know, but just for clarity's sake, when those evaluations hit, that's them trying to see how much they about to give you for a raise, or
Right.
if they are going to give you anything for a raise.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you hit supervisor before that, like right before that evaluation came.
Yes, they actually were late doing my evaluation. Like, I should have had my evaluation because I want to say the beginning of September is when it was due. I want to say I didn't get my evaluation until closer to October. So they were late doing it.
Okay, so on top of them being late doing it, your workload increased relatively tremendously.
Yes.
Was that reflected in your pay?
Not at all. So what happened was my supervisor, he was like, you're supposed to get your evaluation, but I want to offer you this promotion, and I'm going to email HR and ask for you to get the highest increase percentage-wise that you can get because I'm changing your position. He did say he didn't know if I was going to get the full amount because when they hired me, they did ask me up front like what my experience was, and I had been a supervisor before. So they stated that they had already kind of like paid me towards that because that was a goal for them, I guess. But I have no way to know if that's true because I don't know what anybody else makes. So basically, they had the meeting with me. You do your own evaluation. They do an evaluation of you, and then they give you an amount. And they came back and said 1%.
So, to be clear,
That's crazy.
so to be clear, going from therapist to supervisor got you a 1% raise.
Yes.
I'm sorry, not even that. On top of your evaluation.
Right. No,
the total
was 1%.
was one. Okay. All right.
That's crazy.
Let's get into this week from hell. So, what was your reaction to the March 18th email demanding everyone submit their sensitive information by midnight?
So it wasn't enough time. That was my reaction. If we get paid on Friday, you telling us to submit our information on Tuesday when payroll is usually ran on Wednesday doesn't make any sense. So I just didn't feel like it was enough time. And then to say it has to be sent by 11:59, or if not, then you will get paid another way. Now, full transparency, we've had issues with our payroll system multiple times. So I didn't have a problem with them switching to another system because that should have been done, in my opinion.
Right.
But it was the fact of how you want me to switch it over in less than 8 hours. Like, what? I don't even know how many hours that was. It was mid-afternoon they sent the email, and they wanted it done by 11:59 that night. So you want it switched that fast to ensure that we'll get our direct deposit. I already knew when that email came out. I was like, this is not going to work out.
Right.
So get with the instructions that they gave y'all. When you went to that new platform, were you able to do everything they asked you to do?
No, that was the other thing. They wanted the social security number, name, address, and tax information. Some of it was already filled in, like Divine had started doing it. And then other fields were like grayed out and you couldn't edit it. So along with having a deadline, now I have to email HR and say, hey, I tried to do this, but I couldn't fill out. I can't remember which section I couldn't fill out, but I couldn't fill out something. And they were like, "Oh, okay, we're sorry. We'll change that for you." Oh, they had my legal name as Chrissy. So, like, that's not my legal name. So, and I couldn't fix it. So they had to go in and fix it, even though that was something we were told we were going to be able to do. They had to go in and fix it.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Was there ever a point where y'all had access to change it? Y'all.
No, they changed it and told me to check, and then it was right. So the fields that I could change, I could go back and edit, but the ones that were grayed out, they ended up having to do.
Okay. Well, since you were a supervisor, hey Ma. Since you were a
Which
supervisor,
mine? Hold on, let me look.
His mom.
Okay.
since you were a supervisor, did you get advance notice about the payroll delay that was announced? If so, how was it explained to you?
Not at all.
Oh.
So that was one of my complaints about being a team leader here. I have never worked somewhere where I was a supervisor and I was getting the information the same time as the staff. Because how am I supposed to support my staff if I don't have time to process it first and know the information? So yeah, I got the email at the same time.
Mind y'all, this is supposed to be a mental health organization. Forget unprofessional. Like, so as a company, right? You can't control the lives and the well-being mentally of your staff generally, right? But you shouldn't be doing anything to actively mess it up yourself.
Also, that's not entirely true. While you can't control it, you can definitely affect it.
Right.
Your actions.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was the mood? What up, Lost? What was the mood among the staff during this period? Like right after the email came
Pitchfork and torches.
It honestly had already been so terrible because the therapist had already started seeing so many issues outside of the pay.
Right.
Like so many other issues that there was a lot of tension. There was a lot of separation between the departments. So like the front desk staff, it was front desk versus therapists versus directors versus like everybody was already feeling that.
Owners like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Owners like that sometimes. Because it keeps people from actually being unified against anything they do.
Well, the good thing is, so there were 3 team leads, including me, and then my supervisor, and then the other supervisor. So it would be 5 people usually in the team lead meetings. One of the team leaders, she's amazing. She decided to, once she started hearing, so we have consultation meetings where we basically talk about things with clients and like ask for help if we need it with other clinicians. During those consultation meetings, other issues were getting brought up about the staff, about the issues like in the company. So that team lead decided to start doing meetings with just the therapists about their experiences and trying to basically help each other through it. So thankfully, she had did that a couple months ago, and I think they were bi-weekly meetings. So those meetings were very helpful because we had a space to kind of rant, vent, and just like talk it out. Like there were so many tears in these meetings.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So this is rhetorical.
What's up, Mike?
What up? This is rhetorical, obviously. But if you have any answers, feel free. How were supervisors like yourself expected to manage the fallout with the teams that you oversaw?
They didn't give us anything. They didn't tell us anything. And okay, so Tuesday night was that first email, and then when that Wednesday, our all staff meeting was canceled. So, but Wednesday during the day is when we have our team lead meeting. And during that meeting, we kind of were just like, okay, we have a feeling it's about to get bad. So what are we going to do? Like, how do we do this? We had to kind of figure out a plan on our own. My plan in general was just to offer transparency and support. I did not want my team to think that I had anything to do with this, that I knew about this, because I was going to be honest, I did not know. And I just been offering support, like, hey, send me a text if you need me, call me. you've seen, I've been on the phone with them.
Mhm.
Like, if they need me, if they just want to talk about it and like get it out. So that's really all I could offer because I didn't know anything.
Right.
Yeah, quick rule of thumb for all you other supervisors out there. This is how you're supposed. Do not connect yourself with the horse shit upper management is on.
Mhm.
Do not connect yourself with it.
Facts.
I don't care how they threaten you, what they try to. You need to get with the program. You need to get off my nuts.
Facts.
Facts. I
All
was not
facts.
connecting myself to that at all.
Mm.
Very much so. All right. What was your reaction when Devon posted the Hello Friday graphic while employees were being
Hello
engaged?
Friday. Hello Friday.
Listen, like I didn't even see it because I don't follow them on anything. Like I just generally try not to do that anyway. But I don't follow them. But one of the people I supervise actually sent it to me and said that was like that sent her over the edge. And I'm like,
Can
I
you read it?
understand. Let me find it. Give me 1 second.
Mike.
Yo. Facts, Mike. Well, for those that are just joining, basically, where there was a travesty that took place over the past week or so, and we're just here to talk about it. That's it. There will be a call to action a little bit later, but right now we're just explaining everything that went down.
Conversations.
The one thing you don't want to happen,
Mm.
if you're a company, right?
Yeah.
Is to get people rallying against you.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
whatever designs you may have had to be profitable or to make some money or be your own boss and all that other shit will instantly go out the window depending on what you did. And
Yeah.
it's easy to start a firestorm now. It's easy as shit to start a firestorm. Sometimes firestorms be starting for shit that ain't true.
Yeah.
Right.
But the
Yeah.
effect is still the same. It's
Facts.
like,
All
you know what I'm
facts.
saying? Like,
You got it?
Absolutely.
Or you want me to read it?
Nope, I got it.
Okay.
Here we
that's very true, Mike.
go.
So this is the post that they posted the day that they were supposed to pay their workforce and did not.
Yes. So let it be clear, we did not get paid on the day we were supposed to get paid. And they posted this. It says, "Hello Friday" with an exclamation point. It has flowers, like it's a springtimey post.
Hello,
And
Friday.
it says, "Let's take a deep breath and embrace the weekend with joy and ease. No
Really?
stress, no worries, just moments of peace, laughter, and happiness. Whatever the week brought our way, now is the time to let go and simply relax. Wishing you a beautiful and restful weekend."
The cheek. The fucking cheek.
Nigga.
Yeah, like,
Listen. Yo, listen, I ain't gonna hold
they
you.
put out a woosah post.
Bruh.
Woosah?
Yo, when Chrissy showed me that,
I would have been livid. Like,
immediately, right, Lost, P.S., you ain't getting paid.
Right.
Like,
facts.
like what? Like, when I
Facts.
saw that, I was immediately,
That's,
I'm like,
when,
yo.
that's when you lost it.
I was like, yo, what's that Instagram?
I was like,
let me-
no, not yet. No, we're not doing that. I need to figure out what is going on.
Yeah, no, she was right. She was right.
Everybody relax.
Yeah.
Gambit has returned. That's when they hit you with that shit.
Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, all right.
Absolutely crazy, y'all.
Yeah. All right. So, for those who don't know, that post has now been taken down. That post is no longer available. And question. Next question. Internally, was there ever a conversation about issuing a public statement or apology about that post that you are aware of?
No. I don't even know why they took it down. Somebody must have told them to take it down because none of us heard anything about that post.
Okay. All right. Moving on. When and how were you informed that the full-time roles were being eliminated?
again, email. Monday after we were supposed to get paid. So they sent us the email about not getting paid Wednesday night after everybody would have already clocked out. So we saw it Thursday morning, less than 24 hours before we were supposed to get paid. And then Monday was the email that said, basically, we've done all we can do. We tried to avoid this, but we are changing the jobs. Basically, we are restructuring. Full-time employees will be moved to 1099 or part-time, and HR will be in touch with you, and then you will have 24 hours to accept or deny the position.
Yo, that is some of the wildest shit
We
I
gonna
have
get deep.
ever heard.
We gonna get deep
business.
into that one a
And
little bit
when-
later. There's some expansion to be done about that, but as for right now, so the leadership
Yo,
discussed.
Mike, that part.
Listen.
Mike, that part.
We gonna get there. Did leadership discuss it with supervisors first before making the announcement?
No, I got the same email.
Oh, so the trend continued.
Yes, yes, the trend continued.
Yeah.
Okay, so at that time, what was your understanding of why the company was shifting to 1099s or part-time roles?
Well, in the message, they basically were just saying because they've done all they can do and money, and they need to get back on top of money. But I knew. I was like, they're taking, because when you go 1099, if you've been full time and then you go contract, you don't have benefits now.
Nope.
You don't have time off, so you don't have to pay for that. It just gets them out of paying for things for their employees. And basically, contract mental health therapist, the way that goes is you see your client, you get an amount of money. The amount of money was also not disclosed what it would be. So some people, you get a percentage because they have to take some of it. So you either get like 70-30, 60-40, like whatever the case
And
is.
to be clear, this is mostly paid for most client insurance, right?
Exactly. Yes. So one of the reasons that they said that this was happening was, so if you live in Maryland or if you've like been on any kind of state funded insurance, sometimes they switch handlers. So Medicaid was run by a company called Optum, and in January they switched and they are now run by a company called Carelon. When they make this switch, it happens every couple of years. When I guess the contracts, whoever, you know how business goes, of course. So in January, it switched to Carelon. When they made the switch to Optum, it was a mess. I remember it. The claims were a little late. It took some time to get on board and for everything to get back to where it's supposed to be. But within a couple months, it usually corrects itself. And if you run a business, that is why you're supposed to have cushion, reserve, all of that. And Medicaid is not the only insurance we take. So
Right.
basically, they said that because of the switch, they have not been able to be reimbursed, and that is why we were going through what we were going through.
And what's crazy is if they fuck with Medicaid, that's going to be an issue for a lot of these companies. So the thing that you're going to need to do is get on top of that earlier by talking to your people.
Oh, wait, more on that later. So these next two questions I have to skip. I'm gonna come back to those later. All right.
Okay.
So if I understand correctly,
You don't.
well, clearly, because
So-
nigga,
It's
if I understand correctly, at some point after the supervisors were told that the restructure didn't apply to them.
Yes. So
Facts lost. Facts.
let's see. So we were at Monday. We got the email about the restructuring, and we were told because we didn't have the staff meeting last Wednesday, we would have it this Wednesday. Like I said earlier, on Wednesdays, every Wednesday, I have a meeting with the other team leads and the supervisors. Oh, by the way, one of the supervisors had already quit pretty suddenly. She came back from vacation and she was like, hey, just so y'all know, I can't do this anymore. My last day's Friday. So I know that I don't know everything because
Well,
she was on the
Isn't
director's
Maryland
board.
an at-will state? So
Yeah.
she could legally
Oh
do
yeah,
that.
and she did it. She was part of the directors, and she had been advocating for the therapist and like all the other cruddy stuff that they had been doing. And I think she was just at her wits' end of trying to advocate for us, and nothing happening. So she quit, And she was like, I'm sorry, y'all, I can't do this anymore.
All I can do to protest the conditions at this point
It's dip.
is to leave to show how strongly I am against
Facts.
what they're
Exactly.
doing. Yeah.
Exactly. And so Wednesday, it was me, the other two team leads, and the one clinical supervisor who was left. We were having our meeting, talking, asking the questions. We're like, we need to know the answers because we're about to go into this meeting later, and afterwards, we know we're going to have additional questions. And he was like, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I got the reason that, well, he didn't say the reason the email came out, but he was like, I had a meeting with them the day before, I guess they sent the email.
Mhm.
And he was like, don't you think you need to tell the staff? And then they sent the email. So he found out like literally the day before, and he's above us. So I don't know what you have to do. And he has a seat at the director's table too. He was like, so I don't know what you got to do to know the information. Like, it's ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't know what you have to do.
Yeah. Who knows? I don't know how you get a seat at the table with
Right.
information. But anyway, so we were having the meeting, and he was like, "Oh, and just so you know, HR did tell me after the conversation that you guys as supervisors, you will keep your status." By this time, I have already decided that regardless of what y'all give me, I am
You
not doing
can't
it.
trust them. You
Exactly.
cannot trust them
Yeah.
because the shit they did was so behind the veil.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't give a fuck, and they have a history
Mhm.
of kind of leaving you holding the bag with new information. You getting the same time the people that's under you get the shit. Any promises they make going forward cannot be trusted.
Right.
Right.
They do bad business.
Yes.
Period.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Would you like to expound on how you felt knowing that others, including colleagues that you work closely with, were not receiving the same protection?
And that was another reason why I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It didn't feel morally or ethically right that you send us an email saying we're all in the same boat, and you're like, hey, here, come here real quick. I had something to tell you. You're not included though.
Yeah.
You're okay.
They're showing themselves.
Right.
When you do that, and then you say to me, yeah, I lied to all these people, but I'm
right, because say it with your
the
chest.
fuck? Yeah.
Y'all should have said it with your chest. Like, oh, the full-time clinicians, this is what will happen to you. The supervisors, this is what will happen to you. It should have been transparent.
Right.
Because now it looks like if I stay and I keep it after I'm having my tearful moments with my colleagues, now it looks like, oh, I'm in on it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not making me look like that.
Right.
Yep.
Oh,
because he knew the whole time.
Right.
It was pissed.
No, we're not doing that. Yeah,
Right.
no, we're not doing that.
Fuck that.
All right. As a therapist, how did the situation affect your own mental health, and did you witness other therapists having issues?
So as a supervisor, the thing that really bothered me was that restructure email came out in the middle of the day on Monday, maybe about close to 3 p.m. And I had a 3 p.m. meeting with somebody I supervised because we have to have meetings. And I got that email 5 minutes before that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So how am I supposed to show up to support anybody when that happens? One of the questions that were asked, I know we're probably going to get to the meeting, but one of the questions that were asked was, is there a member of a clinical team on HR? And they were like, no. You need to have one. Because if you want us to still show up for our clients, telling us something detrimental 5 minutes before a session is not how you're going to get good service.
At all.
Yo, it's the wildest. It's a cascading effect of bad decisions and bad ideas and bad actions.
Over and over.
Over and over again. And then to look you in the face or say it over the phone. Psst, come here.
Right. Right.
Nah, B.
So obviously this one we kind of feel the vibe on this one, but I gotta ask directly, how do you feel the leadership handled this overall?
Oh.
I don't even think handled is a word. Like,
yeah.
Right.
They literally let it crumble, and it was like, oh yeah, so this is what's happening, y'all.
Right.
Sorry for the inconvenience.
Basically.
If I saw sorry for the inconvenience one more
Yo.
time, tell my bills, sorry for the inconvenience.
Right.
Tell the bill collectors that. Look, I know you
Right.
need this rent. But,
Exactly.
You know, Devon said sorry. So, I
sorry
should
for
be
your
fine.
inconvenience.
Right. Like
Sorry for your
I don't
inconvenience.
have it. And you can call my job and find out why I don't
Right.
have it. Like that's all I can do at this point.
This is the wildest timeline.
All right.
The
All right.
wildest timeline.
So, I think some of these might get a little crazy. So, if you don't want to answer anything, that's fine.
Hmm.
Do you think the company should be investigated for its handling of payroll, employment classification, or ethical concerns?
Yes, 100%. Because if we are finding this information out, when we're finding it out, I feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it's other things happening there that are
Mhm.
probably equally, if not more egregious than this.
Yeah, we're
Your
going to get to that
business
too.
does not tank in 2 months. If you were doing what you were supposed to be doing,
That's it.
the migration to Carolyn would not have affected you in this way.
Yeah.
So there's some shady stuff. There's some stuff that I've heard from other people that I'm not going to put on here because it's not my story.
Right.
But hearing other people's stories, there's been stuff going on.
Listen,
It's just this was the first time where
it's
was big
actually
enough.
that's right.
Right, and everybody's like,
Right.
"Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
4 months ago this happened."
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody's starting to put pieces together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So I can
yeah.
only imagine what's underneath all of this.
Okay.
I really believe too that we were always going to end up here.
Yeah.
Yes,
We were always going to end up here.
absolutely. Regardless if Medicaid switched or not, eventually this is what was going to happen.
Yeah.
So also, this was
Law said, by the way, the 4% you diverted to taxes is actually 2%. We mentioned, but taking 2% as well.
Oh, we're gonna get into that.
yeah, we gonna get to that. So correct me if I'm wrong. This is my understanding of the
You're wrong.
situation. They claim that the reason that they had to eliminate their entire full-time workforce
Yo,
is because
wildest.
Medicaid has been late on their payments.
Yes, they have yet to be reimbursed. If the change happened in January, it should have started then January 1st.
Right. So
Is
let's
this
just
Doge?
say
Is this
no.
a
Let's just say
Doge
shut up. Let's just say that they have gotten no money from Medicaid since January 1st.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Don't they make other money?
Yes.
I mean,
Aren't the people whose full-time positions were eliminated bringing in money from other sources?
I mean,
We bring in the money. I'm pretty sure Medicaid is so my client list I would say is mostly Medicaid.
Okay.
So I will say they probably get a good chunk of their money from Medicaid.
Okay.
But they have other avenues and have opened other programs.
I mean, they have lemonade stands. They have
they do
Freezy
all of
cups.
this stuff in the
All that shit.
community. They do all of these things. Like that's not the only source, and they do more than just mental health. They are a full. Well, she advertises as trying to be a one-stop shop.
Right.
Wait a minute.
So
Hold up.
there's
You say one-stop shop. You're talking about like medical
So
stuff too?
there's medication management that we do. I'm not sure if the substance abuse side has opened up yet, but that's something she was trying to do.
It won't.
PRP, respite. Like there's so many programs that I don't see how this would be the case from one program not paying out.
Okay. So
That
even
PRP
with
is going to turn to PVP in a minute.
bruh, even with the hypothetical that I laid out, that hypothetical is impossible because you know other people who work in the mental health field,
Oh yes,
and they're saying that it was not that big of an issue.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Really?
That's the problem. Mental health field is too small for you to do this. So I've talked to other people, and one of my old bosses, she did say that she was getting her payments late. That was true. She was like, they are not lying about that. They probably didn't get their money yet, or they've gotten trickles of it, not like the full reimbursement.
A damn
Um,
trickle down.
Right. But my other old boss, he said there's no way that that should have been enough to tank your whole business. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
It just doesn't.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So after all the emails and everything happened, uh, there was a meeting um, for company wide,
Yeah, all staff.
all staff meeting. Okay. So from this meeting, I want everyone who is listening to understand that Maryland is a two-party consent state. That means that it is
What?
a felony to record people's audio without their consent. That being said, someone was gracious enough to send us a transcript of some parts of the ridiculous ass meeting. So these are some parts of the meeting that I just wanted to point out. I just wanted to point out just for GP. The owner says the reality. Oh no, I'm sorry. An employee was asking a question. The end of their question was, but the reality is none of us want to be in this situation, right? The owner then responded, and this, like, I'm and verbatim. I'm not. I don't want to twist their words in any way, shape, or form. That's not what we're here for. And this is really challenging. I think to hear and to sit through. Yeah. Um. No, I completely understand. And just to give you guys some transparency, this is I've been struggling with this for weeks. Then she starts to cry. Then she says, "Excuse me," and then someone from HR jumps in and says, "So, first thing is, I do want to apologize about the 24-hour thing. Um, you know, we like the owner said, we will go back to the drawing board and figure out update you guys via email as far as what we are planning to do to address
Can I explain the 24-hour thing?
those ethical standards and remain ethical in what we're doing. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so
You can't remain ethical when you wasn't ethical in the first place.
Correct.
You can't give them grace.
Remain has a
There's
meaning.
no grace you can get them.
Yeah, remain, stay, create. These things have meanings that rely
Like
on what
words
happened
mean
before.
things.
Yes. Go ahead, Chrissy.
So the 24-hour thing. Originally the email said that if when you get your offer from HR, you have 24 hours to either accept it or deny it. So I asked in the chat, I said, so if we deny it, how long do we have to transition like our clients? So as a mental health therapist in our code of ethics, one of the clauses is do no harm. Do no harm. So you have to try your hardest to not do harm to the client, which should be self-explanatory. But basically, if you are leaving, one place it gets gray is if you're leaving somewhere. You can't just abandon your clients. That's another thing that's against our ethics. You have to form a transition plan for them. You have to either discharge them, move them, refer them somewhere. Like they have a choice: stay where you are if you're leaving, or go with you. They have a choice. So when I asked the question, I'm like, how long do we have to transition? And they said 24 hours. That's not ethical. So that was one of the therapists was like, you can't make us leave in 24 hours. We need transition plans. We need in their handbook it says if we quit, we have to give them 30 days, which is normal for a therapist. So now you're saying 24 hours. So that was just no.
Listen, one of the things, the trends that we see these days is that all of a sudden the rules aren't rules; they're just suggestions.
Right.
We see this on literally every level now, where people at one point in time understood that, hey, rules are rules for reasons, and this is why we follow them, because they keep order. And if they turn out not to, or they're not doing something, or the dynamic has changed, then we come together, we discuss how we evolve these rules. But it just seems to me now, I don't know who started this, or who made this a thing. It could come from up top. All I know is these rules being just suggestions now is breaking things.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
100%. All right. So the next piece of this meeting, HR says, okay, so let's see. Going back to the questions. And the owner interrupts and says, give me 1 second. I want to address just, I don't want to blow what employee's name commenting on. It is very challenging. It is challenging as a business owner, and it is challenging as an employer. And to have to let people go, to have to transition people, especially out of, a job security that, it's always been like a dream to be able to create for people. It's not something that I want to do. Unfortunately, it is the hard part of business. And I know that might feel like a slap in the face. However, this is something that I'm asking for people to ride with us as much as possible, because a lot of this is without, it's not in our control.
Listen, I'm not that whole, all of that to me sound like the adults in a Peanuts animation.
Right.
That shit you
Thanks.
saying there makes no fucking sense to anybody. And you're only saying it to fill the gap of the white noise that would happen if you said nothing.
Correct.
That's all. You're trying to fill that space in and make it seem like you're actually doing something, but you're not doing anything. No, I take that back. Let me amend that. You're pissing us off.
Facts.
Yes.
As the owner of the company, we don't give a fuck how hard it is for you.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
That's not helpful.
At all.
Yeah.
That's not helpful in any way, shape, or form. Like, what are you talking about? Why have you decided that this was a good idea? Oh, the same reason you decided it was a good idea for 24 hours to be good enough. You don't know what you're doing.
That part.
Right.
You don't know what you're doing.
Like, so one of the things that really irritated me in the meeting was somebody asked, why did you wait so long?
Oh.
Why did you wait so long to tell us? To which the owner said, I thought at the time I was doing the best thing for the company because I knew if y'all knew, you might not be able to show up for your clients. And
bullshit.
Our vision is for us to, serve the client. And we're all like, wait a minute, but if you would have told us in 2 months, we would have handled it better.
Right.
You told us in a week, and the same thing still happened because guess what? People were canceling their clients, not showing up to work. And she mentioned that. She was like, when you did find out people weren't coming to work.
Because of the way
what the fuck do you expect?
Exactly.
Yo, that is, again, the cheek. The
Nigga.
fucking cheek. What are we saying right now? Like, the outcome you claim you was trying to prevent happened anyway.
Right.
And it happened because of you.
Right.
Because
it was made worse by your inaction.
She knew that if she would have told us in January that people would have started looking for jobs.
Yeah.
So what she was trying to do was buy time. And it's still backfired.
That was selfishness because
absolutely
of these people knew that they couldn't just leave
their
clients without a transition.
Exactly. So they put us in a weird position.
Right. They took away your ability to do that effectively. So you can't then turn around and say, I did this because this is for the best for everyone. No, that's not what happened. You saying that that's what happened when we can obviously see it didn't is not convincing anybody.
No.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
That is so true. And when the way you just said that too, like that is exactly what it was. Like if you would have told us in January, you would have gave us enough time to transition our clients, look for jobs, all of that. Now you've put us in a position where we can't do that. And because most of us, I'm telling you, the therapists that are at Divine are amazing. Like the ones I have run into, they're amazing. And I know that they will find something better because they're amazing therapists. And most of them, through all of this, have still showed up for their clients, have not just quit on the spot. They've said, you know what, I'm going to stick it out for these 4 weeks to transition my clients and try to find somewhere for all of us to go. And they are amazing therapists. No thanks to Divine.
Facts. Right. All right. Another part of this conversation.
Hardly Divine. That's
nigga. Another part of this conversation. The owner. I decided to remain open, and this is the result of remaining open. to be able to keep paying people as much as possible to try to create some type of stability for you guys while we're riding this out. I know financially the economy is not supportive. I know that even just the pay scale is not supportive. However, this is not, we are not targeting people. We are not trying to let people go. This is not what we foresee or hope for anyone.
They're helping. I'm helping Mr. Mellon. They're helping, right?
Mind you,
they're helping.
But earlier in the conversation, she literally said that they were letting people go. Yeah.
So again, this shows nothing they say you can trust. Nothing.
Right. Okay. Next part. An employee says, while I can understand that a lot of these things, actually, it goes along to what Chrissy just brought up. The employee says, while I can understand that a lot of these things may have been outside of our control, I think what a lot of clinicians, especially the therapists, are struggling with is that something that could have given us 3 months to prepare for was dropped on our plate a week ago. And so again, a lot of us, we don't live in an environment and in an economy in which we can adjust as quickly. So with the HR only giving us 24 hours, that feels like an ultimatum. That feels like if y'all don't stay here at Divine, we all can go. And so it doesn't make us feel like valued employees, like how the emails and things of that nature come across. Of course, we want to do what's best for our clients and continue to provide a lot of quality care. But this past week, for a lot of employees, that felt like we just became a number instead of a human. So exactly 10 seconds passes, 10 seconds of silence as the owner starts to sob again. And then the HR jumps in and says, this is exactly how this went. I want to be clear. So the employee says that, about 10 seconds happens with the owner crying. Then HR says, yeah, all right. I think insert employee's name here had a question. So there was no response to this. There was no response to this. Okay.
Every time I heard the cry, I just wanted to bring out the world's smallest violin.
Because nigga, what the fuck are you?
With the world's smallest violin.
Right.
I do not care.
Don't
care.
At all.
Nobody cares. And also, you're weaponizing tears like you weaponized everything else.
Right.
Thanks.
That's all you're doing. And we see you, like these are, you do realize you're in a room full of therapists. Right. I'm trying to get
that part.
You do realize like, we see you.
He's a licensed therapist.
We see you.
Let that sink in for a second.
Right.
This is the same as you trying to steal from a detective. Bro.
Nigga. Right.
Like, what are you doing?
Like, what is happening? You know that I'm trained specifically for this thing, right? You sitting here trying to gaslight everybody.
I used to date a lawyer. I hated arguing with her.
Right? All right. Next part of this conversation. Owner says, an employee asked a question because the owner and HR were adamant that nobody's going to lose their job on Friday. They just kept saying it. They kept saying it.
Let this be clear.
Right. So one of the employees was like, all right, yeah, y'all keep saying that and that's cool, but what does payment look like? Right? So the owner says, are you saying like in the interim, like say if you're saying, okay, I'm a salary employee right now, I'm not going to accept the 1099. This is my 30-day notice. What would pay look like within that 30 days? Is that what you're asking? They say, yes. She says, okay, I don't think we have the answer to that question right now. We can definitely talk about it and let everybody know if you already had your meeting with HR. HR can reach back out to you and let you know. But if you haven't had your meeting with HR, HR will inform you in the meeting what that pay will look like. But that is a really good question, and I appreciate you for asking. Thank you.
So basically what they said was, let me make this clear. So with that statement,
mind you, again, to clarify, the owner said, if you have not had your meeting with HR yet, when you have your meeting with HR, that will be made clear to you, right? Chrissy, when you had your meeting with HR,
mind you, okay, wait. Let me say this. the day that email came out that there would be meetings with HR, a lot of employees got an email that day I think all employees got an email saying set up your time. I never got one, which later
That
on was
leads-
explained
Mhm.
in that meeting.
'Cause you were supervisor.
I wasn't going to get an email.
Right.
So I never knew that I wasn't going to get an email.
Pretty much.
But I did end up getting a call from
Which means that
that's
they
nice.
changed that too.
That's mighty nice. of them.
So during your meeting with HR, when you informed them that it was a possibility that you would not be accepting continued association with Divine, did
This ain't
they?
even going on my resume, y'all. I need y'all to know this. I'm not putting this on my resume.
Right.
What a happy
Did
euphemism.
they mention to you what the pay would look like? If
No.
So no
I
talk
said-
of compensation.
This
No,
is how my conversation with HR went. Being transparent. This is what happened. I answered the phone. Hey, can I speak to Chrissy? Yes, this is her. This is blank from HR. Okay. I'm calling to talk about your position. Okay. So this is very confidential information. We're gonna be sending over an NDA for you to sign. But you already signed one when you started, so it's just an update, okay?
Nah, you
I
just
said-
added some more shit to it. Get the fuck out of here.
I said, what's the employment? Oh, you'll be keeping your full-time status. You just need to sign that NDA and send it back to us. We're emailing it to you right now. I said, and if I don't want to accept the employment, what happens after that? Do I just put in my 30 days like normal and stay for the 30 days? Yes, that's what you would do. Okay, thank you. Goodbye. That was the conversation.
First of all, I have a problem with everything this person's doing. Specifically, I got a problem with their parents for naming them blank. The other thing is, she should have known by you asking the question about the 30 days.
Exactly.
Nigga.
I thought she wasn't going to tell me until I signed it.
Me too.
Right.
When you said that, I was like, she ain't gonna say shit. Nah,
She said it. I said,
oblivious.
That's because they don't know what they're doing.
she's like, yeah, this is confidential. We'll need you to sign the NDA. At that point, it should have been until you sign the NDA.
We won't say anything else.
You know,
But you
NDA
told me
means
is where
no
you messed up.
dumbass.
Right.
That's what NDA
Telling me
means.
is
No
where you messed
dumbass.
up. And they sent the NDA. They actually sent it on a Google Doc. I didn't sign it. I opened it. I said, send it to myself. But I never signed it. And I also looked back, dum-dums. I saved all the paperwork that I've ever sent to them.
Yeah.
There was
There is no-
never an NDA.
Yeah, there's no form of NDA.
Let me make this clear.
you're
Everybody
lying.
listening. If anybody asks you to sign an NDA and you do not work for a celebrity, you do not work for some high form of government, do not
For
sign
me,
that.
don't sign that shit.
Don't
Well, you're a
sign
celebrity.
NDA.
You're worldwide.
Like, don't ever.
When they ask you to sign, you say no, dumbass.
And
No.
don't work there. Because
Right.
I'm pretty sure by me not signing it, I'm going to be honest, y'all. I mean, I sent in my resignation yesterday. I sent it, and I purposefully sent it after hours because they like to send emails after hours.
Right.
So I did the same thing. I'm pretty sure on Monday when they read it and they realize I didn't sign the NDA, I might not be there for my 4 weeks.
Right.
But
Yeah,
then
they're gonna try to get you about it.
Mhm.
Fuck about it here. That's what they're gonna
Facts.
do.
they're
I
probably,
also want to take this time out because I want to say this every time it comes up. Every
Okay.
fucking time it comes
Oh
up.
yeah, I know.
NDAs do not protect anybody from illegal action. That is
No.
not what NDAs are for.
You know,
If somebody has you signed to an NDA and they commit some type of illegal act, you are still fully within your rights to report that action. All right.
in fact, I feel like you should just off
Nigga.
GP.
Right. Simply because. Let me
Simply
get this
because you
last
tried to
part.
play me, and you, see the whole issue really is with a lot of these people, and they don't seem to understand how human mind works. The moment I think you was trying to play me,
Yeah.
the situation changes.
Everything changes. Yeah.
Everything
everything
changes.
Because let the record show, if you're going through hardships as a company, I understand.
Facts.
It was a
Yeah.
hard time.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
It is the way that y'all went about it.
Yeah.
Why was everything email for something so sensitive?
Mm-hmm.
Why
Yeah.
was it 24-hour notice for multiple things?
Yeah.
Why
Y'all
were
did the
y'all
email
not
and then
able
canceled the
to-
company meeting.
Yeah.
So-
The bad thing is they canceled the company meeting first.
Right.
They canceled the company meeting and then.
Oh, by the
after
way.
hours, yeah, you're not getting paid. Like,
At every turn, what's obvious is that they prioritize them, but then want to tell you, "Oh, we thought this would be best for the sons." You didn't think about us. You didn't care
At
about
all.
us only
At all.
except for to say we don't want to have to pay these jokers.
Facts.
You're trying to save this money for paying
Oh,
these jokers.
Hold on, let me I'm glad you said this, Mike. Let me be even clearer on my clarification. NDAs do not protect against illegal acts ever. Even
Ever.
civil illegal acts.
That's right.
Such as breaches of
Of
labor
labor
law.
law. It doesn't.
Nothing.
Not-
They do not protect against
It's
anything illegal.
You know what protects them against things that are illegal? Your
Not
ignorance.
Yeah.
Your ignorance. You not knowing. You
Yeah.
not knowing. That's what
Yeah.
protects them.
All right, let me get this last part of this dumbass meeting out the way. Some
Last gotta be
clown
dumbass.
ass, because some clown ass pastor sounding nigga got on there and talk about, all right, again, just to reiterate, whatever was said by the team, it's crazy times, very, very uncertain times, but just I just want everybody to remember that we're experiencing this hardship together. We you know, a lot of us spend a lot more time together than we spend with our families. You know, that might be more true for some than others, but just remember to be there for one another. Let's be that anchor that helps provide stability for this awesome thing that we call divine counseling. And just because we're going through this together, that doesn't mean it affects us the same. And that's true, because the same water that boils the egg softens the potato. So things affect us different, and they do. But at the end of the day, we didn't come to be a part of divine counseling for a paycheck. We're part of divine counseling because the mission of this company, and then I stopped listening.
Just so I understand it, he said, "Let me be clear. A booger the booger the booger the booger the bug, booger the booger bug. That's what he said.
yeah.
No,
Yo
let
said
me be
because
clear.
the same water that boils the egg
Is that what he did?
softens the potato.
You know,
Nigga, what?
nothing softer than your brain right now. You fucking smooth. Yo, I see. This is this shit really bothers me
Forgot about
because
that part.
Bruh.
motherfuckers will use all of this sort of language, this coded language that comes from a completely different context, and they'll worm it in here
Yo.
because they think, oh, this is soothing.
Yeah.
Woo woo.
Yo, I was
Woo-woo.
sitting next to Chrissy, and when I heard the same water that hardens the egg, softens the potato, I got the fuck up and walked away.
Yo, it's time to leave.
I'm not doing
Yo.
this shit.
Law said, I took some criminal justice courses. There is a whole book on this blue collar shit. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. So I don't have transcripts for this. But I think this is the point in the meeting that made people start like, all right, I don't want
Get
this.
hit, bro.
Listen.
Yo, you lucky he ain't get hit. Like,
So-
if he had the right type of people in there that's on that board, and he'd have said
Right.
that.
That's what
Nigga.
I mean. It was virtual.
That's why that's why I was virtual. But I don't. So again, this part I'm about to say, well, I don't have transcripts for this or anything, and I'm not going to speak for nobody that worked there, right? But I think this is the part that made a lot of people, like, in a meeting like this, I imagine that at a certain point, because like it had been going on for like 30 minutes before Chrissy got home, so I didn't hear the first 30 minutes or so. So, but when she got in the house, she sat on the couch. I sat next to her. So I can imagine that hearing these motherfuckers talk for 30 minutes about why they didn't pay you your money and why you not going to have a full-time position no more, you start tuning shit out, like kinda, just a little bit. Like it becomes ambient noise at a certain point until you hear something that piques your interest. I imagine that this piqued some people's interest. And again, I don't have verbatim,
I
but it was
mean,
something to the effect of, The owner said, yeah, we're going to 1099s, and there's a lot of expenses that we have that are outside of our control, and we're going to 1099s. That should help us cut our expenses in half, and it'll actually be better for you. And it'll actually be better for you guys, because you won't have to pay taxes temporarily.
Wow. So let me see if I understand this part now. So not only are you doing some illegal shady shit with us, you're suggesting that we do some illegal shady shit with the government.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Allow me to make this clear. That's all he did, bro. That's all he did.
When she said that, I was like, babe, is anybody okay? Never mind.
But see, the problem with you, SBJ, though, is you don't realize that the same water that boils the egg. Get the fuck out of here. Yo, that shit is ridiculous, bro.
Yo, I was like, wait.
This is ridiculous.
This is terrible tax advice. Please do not listen to this business owner.
To this grifter.
Right.
Because that's a grift.
So now I feel like she should be audited.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, right, it does feel like it.
Because she said that sincerely.
Yeah, you be making these type of moves and then suggesting others do this.
Bruh.
Oh yeah. You're not above finding a way to try to. Yeah, you're not above.
There was no laugh. There was no. This wasn't a moment of her trying to provide.
It wasn't levity. It wasn't levity.
She was dead serious.
There are therapists. There was another meeting where all the therapists talked, and there was a young therapist there that says, "I've never worked 1099. Can somebody please tell me what that means for me? Like what that looks like?" And that's
means you work for $10.99 an hour.
Yo, you stupid.
That's another reason why I was so irritated with her, because she's spreading false information.
Yeah.
I've done 1099s. I know how that works.
Right.
Like, you don't pay taxes in the front end. You gotta pay them back.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing about it. Here's the thing about it. She didn't lie. It's just that her statement was misleading. Yeah. Because if you don't understand if you don't know what you're doing, you might take that to heart.
Like, and get all this money.
And potentially forget about it.
And that's why
fuck you up even more.
And that's why I'm calling it a lie. Because I'm not giving a grace.
Oh no. I'm not calling it a lie. It's a malicious exaggeration.
Yes.
It's absolutely malicious.
Yes. It's malicious.
Break this down in terms of therapy. Each insurance pays differently. So let's say let's use an easy amount of money. Let's say each session brings in $100. $100 to the company. We are supposed to get a 60-40 split. So that means you get $60 and they would get $40. Okay. Now keep in mind, there's no taxes being taken out.
Mm-hmm.
So of that $60, what you should be doing is putting 30% aside of that $60. So what does that leave us with? What's 30% of 60?
20.
Okay, so what? That leaves us with $30. So for each client we're seeing now, we are getting $30. 30. So you cannot say that is more or that is good for us.
Yeah.
Or we're only bringing in $30 a client.
It's not. It's just not.
It's going to look good.
Yeah, it's going to look great.
I think our rate for Medicaid is $144. But still.
That's going to look great. So Sam come.
Exactly.
Thanks.
Right.
What up, niggas?
So keep that in mind. You're not getting what you think you're getting.
Correct.
Well, you can't always get what
Oh, wait. And I forgot. We're not getting benefits, right?
Right.
So you also have to pay for your benefits out of pocket now.
But there's always Cobra, so you can go. Yo, all of this is some real fuck shit, right? And the reality of the situation is they thought they was going to get away with this. Mm-hmm. This shows a certain level of arrogance.
Yeah.
To think that they were smart enough.
Yeah.
There's all college educated people in here, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think you're doing?
Facts.
Now I know some of y'all I love the undereducated. I know some of y'all is into that. But I'm telling you now, when you have a room full of people that have been educated, you can't play this. You can't do this.
Yeah,
can't do it.
Facts. So, is there anything else you want to add to this?
Let me think.
mismatch of dumbassery.
You have to be.
Chicanery.
Nigga,
You just have to be aware of what you're participating in.
yeah.
Like, I have been complaining about Divine now probably since before the beginning of the year.
I gotta
Because
be honest.
I knew
I
some
would've-
shit was going on.
The first red flag to me is they're calling themselves divine counseling. That's a
Right.
like
Helping you to reach your highest self. That's the line. So,
they meant with weed. It's like, helping you reach your highest self with weed. I can feel it.
yeah, everything's not as good as it looks.
No.
The grass is not always greener. There's
They
so
can
many
get you
things.
high, man.
Right,
You
there's
ain't got
so
no
many
job,
things.
and you ain't got nothing else to do.
Right.
Facts.
I've
Yo.
worked for very unorganized companies before.
Same.
The last one I came from was crazy too, in a different way. But what I will say about the last company, something like this, we would have had a meeting. I would have known before because
Yeah.
I was a supervisor, and I would have never not gotten paid by whatever means necessary.
Right.
I would have gotten paid. Yeah. So anyway, my point is that just keep your eyes open. Like, if you think that something's not right, it's probably not right. And always have another option. Like, thankfully for me, I started getting my stuff ready, and I have now opened my own business. So this was something I was planning to do, and I was going to make my transition after October, but it's going to happen sooner. And I'm glad that I was like preparing. Like,
Yeah.
always keep something in your back pocket.
Facts.
'Cause you can't trust these people.
Facts.
Right.
So before we continue, I just want to say to everybody listening, there is a way that you can help this situation out. I'm not going to be saying that live. If you are interested and willing to help out in any way, shape, or form, this is not monetary. This is actually something tangible that can be done. If you are willing to, or even interested in finding out what it is that you can do to help out the cause that we are about to embark on, then you should direct message one of us, because there are people listening that are connected to each of the three of us, potentially individually or whatever the case may be. So yeah, reach out to us and we will let you know what it is that you can do to help. Basically, the mission is to spread the word and let people know about all this shady shit that's going on with this crazy ass company. Because the last thing that we want is anybody else to be the last thing that anybody should have to deal with. Fuck that it's a mental health company in general is being blindsided like this. On top of that, it's a mental health company.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, you are doing things to actively mess with your
people's mental health,
your employees' mental health. And if you're messing with your employees' mental health, how the fuck are your clients going to get the proper care that they need?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
If there is somebody that ends up looking or watching this, listening to this, and they are a client and they have an amazing therapist, make sure y'all spread that word too.
Yep.
Make sure you put out the good word that you have an amazing therapist.
Yeah.
Because people are looking.
100%.
Good therapists, and there's so many therapists around. But even in this story, as you heard, like, the owner's a licensed therapist.
Yep.
So not all therapists are good therapists.
No.
Facts.
So if you do have a good therapist, divine or otherwise, make sure that you are spreading the word, reaching out about that therapist, putting the information out there. If they're taking other clients, spread that word too. Like, everybody, needs to grow when they deserve it.
Right.
And again, just so you know, so when you look on my Facebook, and for those few that follow me on Twitter and stuff, and you see me posting, this is what the fuck I'm posting about.
Yeah.
This is what I'm posting about.
So again, if you're listening and you want to help spread awareness about this situation, hit us up individually through Facebook Messenger, text message, Discord, like whatever y'all got that connects you to us. go ahead and hit us up individually so we can
Keep going.
so we can go ahead and give you some steps to what it is that we're doing, and you will be seeing it. It's going to start. Actually, anybody that's in the group, if you're listening and you want to start now, that's fine. As far as us, we'll probably be starting after the show today. So yeah, again, if y'all hear me and y'all want to be a part of spreading this awareness, please contact one of the three of us individually. There's a very specific reason why I'm saying individually. Please understand that. None of this. Well, that's it. That's all I can really say. But yeah, they must have lost their goddamn minds thinking that they was clearly, and it's true, but it's obvious. They don't know me. They don't know me and they don't understand, and that's cool. They shouldn't know me. I ain't nobody. But this cannot stand.
No.
This cannot stand. And they have only begun to see the issues that are going to come from them handling this situation as terribly as they have, because that messed some things up for some people, I'm sure.
They should get to know me,
nigga. Right? Like, you gotta think about it. You gotta think about the economy, right? So the thing that we tend to touch on every week since middle November is this whole current administration and what one of the things that they ran on that everybody with sense knew wasn't going to actually happen, and that's fixing inflation how it was at that moment. That has not been fixed. It has actually increased. So, given that, we all know. Hold on, I'm gonna get to that in a second, Loss. We all know that people just in the country, which is use the country, it's people in this country that's living check to check.
Facts.
So if I'm living check to check, I would
argue most people are living.
Most people, yes. Yeah. If I'm living check to check and I get paid only every other week, and you tell me the day before I'm supposed to get paid that I'm not getting paid, how was I supposed to prepare for anything? Yeah. Not to mention, and tell me shut up if I start saying something I'm not supposed to say. So there's people that have been. Oh, you didn't bring this up. There was a training that was supposed to be done, right?
Oh.
And then randomly, again, short notice is a thing with them. Within it was like a week short notice of when it was supposed to be done.
So, all right, for the training, they told us in October it was going to be due at the end of December. The end of December, of course, as you all know, is holiday times. Most people take off. So there was some pushback on that. We're not going to be able to finish these 70-something trainings by December, when we also see clients, write notes, go to meetings, all the other things we have to do that have deadlines that are more important than these stupid trainings. Right. So they said, okay, fine, you get to the end of January. Again, 76 trainings, I think it was, for the therapists. So they were like, maybe like a week or so before it was due, they were like, hey, if you don't finish these trainings by the end of February and by the end of January, you're going to have to get a paper check. That was our punishment. We will not be able to have direct deposit until our trainings are done. That is not an appropriate. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't go with what the thing is.
Right. And allegedly, some people got paper checks and they bounced.
Yeah.
Now, that's the other thing. Paper isn't supposed to bounce.
Correct. Correct.
So, of course, nobody knew that because nobody's sharing that information.
Right.
That's why that was a punishment.
So, hypothetically, so I don't work for them, so I can't speak for them. But I work where I work, right? And I know that if you come in to my business trying to pay your rent and your check bounces, there's a penalty for that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You don't just get to, let me pay it a different way. No, yes, pay it a different way, but also there's a fee that's on top of that. And if you do it a certain amount of times, that's it.
Yeah.
You can no longer pay us rent. No rent can you pay us. So
There's no rent you can pay.
so yeah, so for you to send out a fucking meme talking about whatever happened to you this week, just let it go.
They hit you with this, don't worry.
Bruh.
Be happy.
And you just didn't pay your entire workforce. Well, I can't say that. Someone who has no connection to this company, I don't believe it was the entire workforce that didn't get paid.
I don't either.
I believe the people up top got their money.
Yep.
100% believe that.
Yeah. So back to Loss. Loss says, what's the biggest change you want to see? Divine Counseling LLC closed.
Yeah.
That's the biggest change I want to see, because this is not a toy manufacturer. Right? This is somebody that's supposed to be providing mental health services to the African American community.
Which I don't know if you notice or not, is sorely needed.
Right.
Yes.
Once you lose the trust, again, this is not something that's completely government regulated, that there are specs for and code that it has to be, and you can just look at a piece of paper and see I messed up this one time, let me adjust this setting.
Right.
No, that's not what this is. This is a company who is effectively corrupt.
Yeah.
Effectively.
There's really no other, that's the word. And
it's corruption.
I've had meetings with some of my staff, and the perfect word that one of them used is bamboozled.
Hoodwinked.
That is what happened to us.
Run them up.
Bamboozled from the start. This is this beautiful company.
Oh yeah.
Come in.
Yeah.
Look at the beautiful building.
Yeah.
Look how we serve our clients.
Mm-hmm.
Our clients are happy and we are wonderful. We just do what we need to do. Work-life balance, and that is not true.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was a bait and switch. You came up in there. They had a certain type of list of policies that seemed very attractive. I am of the opinion now, because I don't trust anything they say now. I'm of the opinion that they were always going to change those policies.
Yeah,
it was to fill up their roster, right? Get you in there, you get comfortable.
And the mass hiring was crazy.
Bruh.
Yeah.
There was literally a point in time where Chrissy came in every day. Oh, yeah, they just hired such and such and such and such people. Oh, they just hired 5 new people. Oh, they just hired 5 new therapists. And it's like, what?
People on the call were like, who are these people?
Like, what are you talking about?
He was on your Seinfeld shit. Who
are these people? Loss also says on-time pay, back pay should pay be delayed, blah 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 blah. No, because I don't trust that would be a thing that would, you can rely on. Like, what do you mean? Like, sure, it would have been great. But their story is such that, all right, if you take their story at face value, then you can't believe. Wait. If you take that story at face value, then you can't believe that will be a thing. Like, if you take that story at face value, you can't believe that they can be upheld to paying their employees on time.
Right.
That's if you take this at face value. If you have any bit of doubt in their story, then how the fuck can you have? Like, how can you have any confidence?
When Chrissy said that they was doing mass hiring and all this, like, so a lot of these problems didn't just start.
What up, Ken?
That day, this shit's been going on, and this reminds me a lot of has similarities to pump and dump schemes. Like, they sat there and got all these motherfuckers in there, made this money from Medicaid and Medicare and all that shit, and now they skating out with the loot. And everybody that was there has to pay the penalty of not having a job.
The big changes that have happened. We started with 1 building. We now have 3. We started with a certain amount of clinicians. I want to say, like, maybe when I came in, there was like 20. There's probably like 40 or 50. they did construction on the first building we had and extended it, so we got an additional suite with more offices. Like
That's weird,
there's
too.
so many things that have taken place because the goal was to grow and to have a substance abuse clinic and all these other clinics and all this other stuff.
You
And
grow
you
with
did
money.
You did it too
Nigga.
fast.
Yeah, like
Grew
you were
too
spending a
fast.
lot of money. It would appears to me you spending a lot of money on this expansion when you haven't yet. Your profitability doesn't justify you spending this money.
Exactly.
Like it seems like to me they did shit ass backwards.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're on TV commercials too.
Right.
Oh yeah. They
Rapid
did shit ass,
expansion.
they did shit ass backwards.
Can't rapid expansion lead to implosion?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's exactly what I
Oh, is that what your response was? Oh,
Oh. Well, shit. Because it's like, nah, B, we not playing these games. Like, I just don't. I don't understand. Now, to be clear, right?
Mm.
There are people who there are people who, and this is why this is a good trait to have profession wise. I would argue it's not a great trait to have personal wise, but hey, there are people who put the client above themselves, like to a high degree. To a high degree, I commend them for that profession wise.
Right.
I would argue it's not the best thing for your mental health.
No.
So in that case, it's not the best thing for your client.
Right.
But I ain't in the field. I don't teach the field. I don't got nothing to do with the field.
You ain't in the field.
I'm in the house.
You're the
I'm in the house as far as that's concerned. So I can't. I'm not the one that should be saying it. But like, this place is a cancer.
Yeah.
It should not exist. That is what should happen. But I don't make decisions. All I can do is try to organize and get the word out for people to let them know, like, this ain't where you want to be.
Right.
Like, whether you're a client, employee, whatever the case, this ain't where you want to be.
This ain't it.
Nah,
This
this ain't it.
That shit is wow. That shit is wow. Like,
so yeah, there's that. Is there anything else about this before y'all think about final thoughts? And I will throw out again, anybody that wants to help on this mission that we are on to spread awareness about this crazy ass, corrupt ass company, then hit us up individually. Hit us up individually, privately, so that we can, so that you can see what it is that you could potentially be helpful at, and we can try to get this word out about this crazy ass shit that just went down.
And share the episode.
Yeah, share the episode as well, if you get a chance to.
right.
And all that other stuff. So, any final thoughts on this?
Well, I will say this for those of you that are out there looking for employment, just in general, there are red flags.
Yeah,
and you need to take those seriously, because depending on how long the company's been around, depending on other people who have worked there and what they have to say, because there's always somebody disgruntled, right? That leaves a company. That doesn't mean the company's bad. It could have just had a bad thing with the person, right?
Right.
But you need to really, like, some of these, I think especially now, these just come off like fly-by-night little companies. And I remember back when I was a younger man, it was a lot of those. They go and lease these little office buildings. You know what I'm saying? And you go down there and they got a guy in a suit, and some old lady sitting at the thing, and they look official. And then you go in there and they sit you in this room and they start talking about some multi-level management shit.
Right.
Like, you got to be really careful with a lot of these employers out there. And I think nowadays, especially, because I don't know how many of you noticed, you're getting a lot more scam calls after this pandemic and shit.
Yep.
The grift is on. The grift is on.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. I am an avid review writer, like wherever I go, good and bad. And I will say,
That's facts.
please write reviews. Write the good things. Give the shout outs. Give people's names. when
Yeah,
you talk about
specifics.
them.
Yeah.
Right.
It goes a long way because if I am looking, because they even have reviews you can do for places where you work. If I was somebody that was looking to come to Divine and I went and saw a review that said they're not getting paid this, I'm not going to work there. So you could be saving the next person.
That's a fact. That's
so
a fact.
write your
Absolutely.
reviews, and that's all I got.
Hold on, give me 1 second. Tim, filibuster, real quick.
So, since we were on this topic, it brought to mind a couple of things to me also as well. So just to make this clear, booger the booger, booger the booger. Like
that's all I'm gonna hear now. Or whatever they
Yes.
get the email.
That's it.
If
That's
I'm
it.
not terminated on Monday, like
That's all. That's all. I'm looking at some of these comments too. So Mike said checks made of rubber. Yeah. I think we answered a lot of lost questions right here. Look, I've worked for places. One in particular comes to mind. That was a startup, and we thought it was going to take off and be all this. It was a club/restaurant.
Mhm.
And I don't even know. I'm pretty sure it's not still around anymore. But it was called Mariah's, and it was out Route 40. So those who may watch this from Baltimore, you know what I'm talking about. When you go past Security Mall, there's a bridge, that little bridge. You go right up there, and when you get to the next actual fucking place of business is this little thing right there. That's where Mariah's was. And before they opened, somebody put us down with it and said, yo, you should go up there and try to get yourself a gig because they opened up this new spot. So me and my producer went up there and we did all of that shit and we wound up getting in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
We were there for probably 2 months, 3 months. And then all of a sudden, we start hearing things. Something ain't quite right with the owner. He like to go down to the Legionnaires Hall and gamble.
Oh.
That's not good, but it's none of my business because I got nothing to do with his life. Do you?
Right.
Well, the problem with that is he wound up gambling away the payroll.
See?
Yeah. So we go to work expecting a paycheck.
Right.
And we got nothing but excuses. And he wasn't even man enough to tell us to our faces. He sent his little chippy. Yeah, because he was married, but he was messing with a chick on the job. He sent his little chippy to tell us so she could catch all the spears and arrows and all that other shit. So the promise was, we got y'all after the weekend. Now you need to understand something. Not everybody there, but a significant portion of the people, especially that worked in the kitchen staff, they from that.
Mm-hmm.
Either former people that was in jail or whatever, they from that.
Right.
So now you're talking about money.
Yeah, you don't play with that.
No. So one of the people I met up there and became really friendly with, me and my former producer, we used to call him, that was our cruddy buddy, Lenny. Shout out to Lenny. Lenny was a powder keg, though, right? He was the Tasmanian devil, just light skin, right? Right? So potentially, this was going to blow up in everybody's fucking face because I was a younger man back then. And I didn't necessarily have all of the common sense that I have now. So all it took was me not getting money. When I worked, I was supposed to get money. Lenny doing Lenny, right? And the rest of the people that's from that in there going, yo, I tell you what, if I don't get my shit Monday, you gonna get that shit. You gonna get that shit. I don't know where he got the money from,
He found it.
Yeah.
but he paid us out in cash.
Listen, to be fair, it was the prudent thing to do.
It was. Because you don't want to, you already inconvenienced me. Don't inconvenience me further by giving me a check now, so I got to go to the bank and do all that. No. Give me my money.
Right.
And I don't know what happened to him. I just know that eventually that place, of course, folded, right?
Okay.
Because how would you, the business practices was already janky. And on top of that, the owner had a gambling addiction that was so bad that you would risk catching severe ass whippings by gambling away the fucking payroll. Like, what the fuck? What are you doing? And the thing is, as an addendum to this, an epilogue, if you will, I never liked his son. I never liked him because his son used to come up there with this attitude of, I'm from the suburbs, so y'all little niggas is, yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. I noticed you didn't come up there after this shit went on. You didn't come up there because you know niggas was looking like the only reason why niggas ain't putting a foot on you is because you the son of the boss.
Mm-hmm.
But now that he ain't paying the motherfucker, you fair game.
Right.
You fair game up here. You know what I'm saying? So nah, like I completely have been in a situation where they talk about they not giving you your money and a host of other things. So Divine needs to close.
Absolutely.
They need to close. I don't even like calling it Divine. That's crazy. They can't finna call no grown ass man delicious.
Yeah.
That shit. What the fuck?
Oh my god, I can't stand you.
Y'all love me.
I mean, sometimes.
Not sometimes.
Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, listen, it's the situation that happened as it happened. I
have a bad feeling too that more of this type of thing is going to be happening. I mean, that feeling, because when you start pulling at certain threads, societal threads, you get shit like this. You know, it becomes more than just a one-off here or a rarity and shit. You start seeing more of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when they had them company meetings, go to your company meetings.
Yes.
Facts.
Go to your company meetings, because I remember it was plenty of people they was feeling inconvenience. They would get mad. I don't have to. I just want to go home and get the fuck out of here. I hear you, but this is funding your lifestyle. So
right.
If you don't know what the fuck they're on or what they're doing right now, it could also jeopardize your lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know. Yeah, it's fucked up. You feel like, because a lot of times they would do some of these meetings where I used to work at, where I was supervisor at, they would do these meetings after.
Oh yeah, ours is after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after the shift, and it's like, niggas just want to go home. And
right. That's done intentionally.
I think they count on that.
Yeah, that's done intentionally.
Yeah, it has to be
from 6 to 7:30.
Yeah, because they know your focus is really on, can you get the fuck out of here? So you may not be completely paying attention to everything that's being said. Although I don't know how anybody could have missed anything that they said in this.
No, not in this situation. No.
Yeah, like
that was the most full meeting that I've ever seen. Like everybody was present.
And mad.
Nigga, what the fuck do you mean? I've been struggling with this for weeks. Weeks? You just told us 6 days ago.
I'm just hearing about it now, and you stuck with weeks.
You just told us 6 days ago. What do you mean?
Right. So just so y'all know, my planned last day is April 25th. At that point, all my clients are out the door, and I don't care what the hell happens.
Yeah.
Right now, like, yes, I want y'all to begin, but the real task is going to come for me after April 25th.
Right.
Because then I am disconnected completely.
Or when they decide to just terminate
Or
you.
or when they like see that I didn't sign it today, and
Yeah, you said the last day would be the 25th.
yeah, it's supposed to be.
That's on my birthday. I'm telling you, good things don't happen to other people on my birthday. So it
That's
just
what I
don't.
put in my
I mean, it be happening for me. Good shit.
I mean,
but for some reason, I feel like the universe has a structure, so I take shit away from people on my birthday. Like my birthday come here, bad shit be happening.
I cannot stand you.
I'm just
They ain't
saying.
read my email yet. I'm checking my work phone.
Oh, they both. They're gonna see it.
And then they're gonna kick me out the system and tell me to bring my equipment back.
Basically,
your equipment. Oh yeah.
They provide us with stuff. That was another thing that was like, oh, I've never had a job that gave us a work phone. So
Oh yeah.
And our work laptop with service on it and
they
all
was
that.
on some shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was on some shit. It was
more
on some shit.
expenses that they really could have waited to do.
Bro, and that's the thing. Like, it reminds me of a conversation I had with somebody a while ago. They wanted to do a podcast. I said, well, that's pretty easy. You got a phone? She can literally do this shit on the fucking phone, right?
Right.
They go, no. I kind of want my shit to look like a. You know how the way the Breakfast Club got this shit? I said, stop. Hold on. No yeet.
Right.
You realize that that's a radio station that has a parent company that funnels a shit ton of money in for them to afford equipment and this and the third. You want to do what? Talk about relationships or some other shit that you on or whatever. Yeah, you shouldn't have an expectation that that's what you need to have before you even get started.
Right.
Or you'll never get fucking started. Trying to grow all fast.
Right.
Without putting in the time that makes it feasible. Oh, we can afford this now. We have got to the point where we're making money hand over fist, and we can invest some of this money in expanding it. And it sounded like to me that these motherfuckers thought they was going to do all this big shit, and then they would later get the money. After doing it, we'll be getting the money. That's not how that shit works. You have no idea what the market is for. Yes, there are a lot of people in need of therapy, especially in the hood.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of people in need of therapy, but that doesn't mean all I'm going to come, because in our community, at least, there is a stigma and has been a stigma about getting help. So if your whole mission statement, if your whole thing is to be a service to this community, you have to understand that you already starting with a deficit.
Right.
Because these people are not necessarily going to go in there to talk to you about their business.
Right.
Like they not. I'm saying we are that type of folk. Right. We are like that whole mind your business shit. It sounds funny when I'm telling Addie that, and
that's different.
It sounds funny, but that's some real shit in our community. That's mind your fucking business. You know. These people, man. Everybody's not cut out to own a business.
No.
And when I see people touting that as some solution to economic woes and stuff, I'm like, you've never owned a business.
Yeah.
Because I have owned several. And out of those several, it was only a couple of them that was actually made profitable money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody not cut out for that shit. Everybody don't have the aptitude for it. And the worst thing you could do is have somebody who doesn't have the aptitude for it, or is doing it for reasons other than shit that's actually positive.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna drag other people in it. These people are gonna think that they're serious, and they're gonna go in, they're gonna get these jobs, they're gonna base their whole lifestyle around this check, only for that shit to get snatched because these motherfuckers was for play.
Yeah.
You know?
Yo, they don't know what they're doing and they broke.
Right.
Like, we just gonna call it what it is. No, yo. We don't call it what it is because
they don't know
why the fuck would you have your community outreach specialist come on the fucking call and say, none of us chose to be with Divine for a paycheck.
That's the one. Yo,
How fucking
We gonna
tone deaf
fight.
are you?
we
You
gonna
know
fight.
what? They say that about any type
Every
of
job,
serving
too.
community.
Right.
That's
Any
true.
type of like service
That's true.
thing. They're like,
That's true.
oh, we don't do this for a paycheck. And
I'm
you
a
know what?
W-2 employee.
Mental health employees are not doing it for paychecks, so they wouldn't be mental health counselors.
Right.
They do not get that much money.
Correct.
But the point is, we still need our paychecks.
Yeah, that don't mean don't pay me no money.
Like, what are y'all talking
Right,
about?
right.
Yo, you
That don't
said
mean no
this to a
money.
bunch of
That don't
people
mean no
that
money.
didn't get their check last week.
Right.
Yo, it's so wild
What the
that you
fuck
said
are we
that
talking
because
about?
I had a plant manager when we was doing an inspection around the building, and I was helping Calvin run the sanitation shit. We doing an inspection, looking for mold and all this other shit, right? As we walking around, we having a conversation. I was like, it's really hard to retain employees in here because y'all don't pay shit.
That part.
And this is a lot of work, and the work conditions here aren't great. This is a refrigerated facility, so it's cold in this motherfucker all the time. It has to be because we're dealing with seafood and shit. Like, it's hard to keep motherfuckers up in here, right? He said, "What? I just don't believe people just do things for money." And I laughed at him. And Calvin gave me a look. Calvin gave me a look like, laugh. I'm like, man, fuck this nigga. The fuck? What are you talking about? I said, I'll tell you what, if you believe that, I want you to take a poll on every shift. Morning, afternoon shift, and the midnight shift. And see how many of these people would do something else if they could.
Right.
But are only here accepting this for a check.
Right.
No, Lace, fuck that. They got me fucked up.
Wait.
Lace told me stop yelling.
Right.
Why would you have your community? What the fuck? Whatever the title was, community events organizer.
This
Whatever the
nigga
fuck.
said,
Community engagement specialist.
Yeah. Why you have him come on and tell your employees who you just failed to pay?
disengage,
none of us did this for the paycheck.
Disengage, bro.
What the fuck? That
Disengage.
doesn't mean
Like,
that saying means that
Right.
you aren't paying me to do this particular thing. Like, this is something that I have passion for. It's not
Right.
just about the
Right.
check. That does not mean
I don't need
I'm going to
that.
do this for $0.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not the same
Well,
fucking thing.
just so you know, I love the comic book genre. I still want to make money
Right.
with the comic
Niggas.
books. Like, I don't know
what
what
are we
y'all
talking about.
That
talking
doesn't
about.
even make sense. Like, stop
No.
talking.
What
Yo,
the-
really? Like, it's so funny because these motherfuckers will say shit like this as if they don't live in the same society we live in. No,
Right.
you
That
don't.
part.
You don't live. They have not, and we don't know if they ever will. When you look at the people who is in charge,
Right.
there is no expectation anybody should have that there's any work being done to change the paradigm of the culture of work.
Correct.
You should not have an expectation there. I know there's a lot of technology that's coming
Unless it's
along now,
actually
it's
happening.
hopeful. Yes,
Unless it's happening on the
it's actually
governmental
happening.
level
Yes,
where we talk about UBI and shit like that.
and UBS and all this other shit.
Right.
Yo, they're not. There's no movement towards that at all, right? So the idea that you would expect somebody who has to live here,
Right.
where they tell you here you don't have a right to a vacation, where they tell you here that no, your insurance must be connected to your health insurance will be connected to your job or some shit. And if not, you're gonna pay a shit ton of money to do the shit. Here, you ought to know you are taking your life in your hands playing with people's employment
Mm-hmm.
Right.
because it's hard to live here.
And to act like the switch was beneficial.
Bruh.
When
Yo
I
said,
just
y'all
broke
get
down
the-
that number. $100 for a 45-minute session looks like, I'm getting $100 an hour.
That ain't it.
And that's not it.
That's not
You
what
gotta
it
put 30% away for taxes. You don't have health insurance, so you have to pay for that. You're
Right.
only getting 60% of it in the first place.
That's
Right.
before Texas.
Right.
So please do not talk to me like I'm stupid.
Right.
Like, but I
That's
just feel
the-
bad
that
for
part
the
right
baby,
there.
the baby therapist. The
That-
baby therapist
yeah.
don't know what this is about to
Yeah.
do.
This is their first experience with some shit,
Right.
and it's gonna pause in the way they see a lot of shit.
Mhm.
Two things can happen out of it. One good, one bad. one could poison a new guy or new girl, could poison them completely against this. Like, this shit is scammy as fuck. Blah blah blah. The positive part though is, as angry as they get about this shit, what they'll do is fold that into their awareness the next time. So the next place they go, these red flags are still like pulsating in their brains. The moment they see a flag waving over there, they check the color. Oh, all right, that ain't red. And then they make a decision based off of their past. That's the positive thing that can happen.
Oh, wait, and I forgot the other thing. Back to the money. So we're getting the 60-40 split of whatever the insurance covers. Right. And then we were like, so what about the administrative tasks? Like, we still have to write notes, we still have to go to meetings.
Right.
We get that at minimum wage.
Yeah, if you contracted.
Minimum wage. Wow. If we're contracted, we get $14 or $15 an hour for our notes and all of our other stuff.
How long has that been like that?
No, this starts next week. Well, I'm sorry, full-time employment ends Friday. So technically the week after.
So basically y'all all at technically a minimum wage.
Yeah.
Whoever's contracted.
Whoever's contracted.
Like, what are we talking? What? Don't play with me.
$10.99.
Don't play with me.
$10.99 for just $10.99. That's
cool. And then that $15 an hour, you still got to break it down because it's not taxed if it's $10.99.
Right.
That's true.
So whatever you make, if you do notes for an hour, you get $15. 30% of $15 you have to put aside. So you're not bringing home what you think you're bringing home.
But like she said, temporarily you don't gotta pay taxes, so it's cutting down your expenses too.
I can't believe she said that.
You said that.
Yo, when I heard that, I was like, no, I gotta pay attention to this.
No, one of my other, like, in the other meetings, one of the other therapists was like, can y'all correct me if I'm wrong? Did she say that? And I put in the comment, I said, yep, that's exactly what she said. She said, okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't going crazy. No, you weren't. That's what she said.
Like, what are we talking about?
Complete insanity.
So,
and anybody suggesting it is a nutbag.
One of the things that you need to avoid with any level of expertise, right, is belittling people who didn't ask for it. Right? So it's one thing, I'm all for being petty, right? This one thing is if a motherfucker challenged your gangster and you had to clap back at them, belittle the fuck out of them. Ad homes for them all day.
All day.
However, you are a multi-business owner, which means that you have to know something about taxes because you made it to more than one business. Agreed. So you got to know something about for you to unprompted tell your employees, oh yeah, this benefits y'all because y'all temporarily don't have to pay taxes.
Woo!
What? So you calling us dumb?
Right.
So there are people who won't know, they would just believe what she say. Yeah. But then there are the people who understand that's not how this shit works.
At all.
That wording is a little treacherous.
And she worded it like that purposefully.
Yeah, absolutely malicious. It was a malicious wording. Like, don't insult my fucking intelligence.
Stop playing. Yo, this. I know we've told Addie on numerous occasions when he say that they're not. Private, but this bears repeating though. Stop playing with me. Stop fucking playing with me.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to end up good for you because you think I'm stupid and I'm not. Mm-hmm. You think I get out here and going, let me make this clear. Blah, 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 blah. And that's going, I hear the double talk or the over talking.
Mm-hmm.
And you reaching for these little canned phrases or little cute witticisms to make it seem like you was trying to relate to our situation and B, giving us sage advice.
Right.
Fuck you.
Yo, I wish that everybody under the sound of my voice could have heard how they came to the realization that they were being unethical about this 24-hour period shit. Because like Chrissy said, that was actually Chrissy's question that she sent in. She's like, all right, well, if somebody declines the part-time or the contract, how does that work for their employment?
Right.
And they said, they were like flippant about it at first. The
Right.
response was, well, it says 24 hours after the
We still haven't gotten an email to that answer, by the way.
That's funny.
Wow.
But they were flipping about it at first. They were like, "Oh, well, it says 24 hours after you've been given the offer, so 24 hours."
And then I was like, "And do we get paid out for our time?" I just want to let the record show that vacation time is a privilege, and you do not get paid out for that. What I meant to say was PTO,
Right.
because you generally get paid out for
Right.
PTO. But she just immediately got an attitude, like, "Ma'am, this is your fault."
Right.
All your fault.
So after they were flipping about it, somebody brought up like, "Hey, you can't do that to clients." And then the owner jumps in. Oh wait, yes, you know what? We got to talk about that.
That's that right.
Yeah.
That part right there. Y'all
It shows me.
don't know that.
One of two things. Well, no, they don't, because Chrissy mentioned it earlier. There is no clinician in HR
Right.
at all.
And the crazy thing is, our supervisor has started to ask to sit in HR meetings because he's a licensed therapist, and they allow him to sit in some of the things, and then sometimes they do stuff before he can sit in.
Right.
So it's like y'all are doing this shit on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they doing. Yeah,
Without question.
absolutely doing it on purpose.
Like, people aren't stupid. If they were as stupid as you are trying to make them seem to be, you wouldn't want them working.
Well, no,
at your
that
company.
room isn't stupid. So
Right.
we're not gonna do that. People are stupid.
No, listen.
That room is.
I'm being very specific right now. God damn it! You didn't let me finish. If they were as stupid as you thought they were, you wouldn't want them working here.
That's a fact.
Because they would not be representing your company the way that you wanted your company represented.
It's
They deal
college
directly with
educated
clients.
people.
Nigga,
What are you doing?
who the fuck you think you? Again,
That's
it
it.
sounds like
That's it right there. That shit you was about to say right there.
So
Right
it sounds to me like she's not running her company.
Yeah.
She's allowing HR to run her company.
Agreed.
Agreed. In every company I've ever known of, HR is not who runs the company.
Right.
That's not a thing. But for some reason here, it's a thing. Oh, did you bring up the fact that she was talking about selling her shares?
Oh yeah, she had posted in the Buy Black Baltimore group, I think it is. Mistake number one, so many people are in there. That she was interested in selling a portion of her shares or some of her shares or whatever, and reach out to her, and she's looking to step away completely from mental health. All of this happened like the week before the emails came out.
Right.
Listen, so backpedal and run away.
Right. So the issue that you're talking about that caused all of this problem has been happening since January. You don't think it look a little suspicious that you was trying to sell last week?
Bruh.
And then be like, so of course people were bringing that up because people screenshot it and it started circulating the company. And so she was like, oh, and just so you know, like, it's fine. Like, I'm not selling the amount where it would, like, I can't remember what she called it. Like, I don't know the term for it, but it's like a threshold.
Yeah.
So she was like, I didn't reach the threshold. Like, that it's not affecting y'all. And she was like, and another thing, like, I just really need the rumors to stop circulating.
Oh,
if you didn't hear it from us, then, don't spread it. And if you have any questions, you need to talk to us. No, because you weren't
telling us anything.
You're not a source of that shit selling you. This is what's happening at Tesla. A lot of them people, they selling their shit because they see the writings on the fucking wall. And you do that shit, then we find out about it, and you come to us and you say, you're supposed to come to me after you just hit us with this bullshit about the 1099 and all this other shit. Like you and then you had this guy come in here and hit us with fucking witticisms and old folkisms and shit. Right. This all seems scammy and shifty. You got the person that we're gonna look to for truth now.
Pardon me.
What?
Pardon me.
What?
Remember the same water that hardens the egg softens the potato.
Shit. Listen.
I'm not saying that.
Listen. Oh, that's already adopted.
Is you about to post that?
You gotta post it. You got to. Let me make something really clear. The water that hardens the egg It softens the bread and shit. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is he talking about? What's up, McKenna?
What up,
What
McKenna?
is he talking about? The
Yo.
water that. What?
I hope y'all got everything y'all need to get out of this interview.
I believe so.
Can't make this shit up.
No, not at
It's
all.
still March. The first email came out March 18th. One of the people I supervise says it feels like it's been a Monday every single day since that happened. And I'm like, no, facts. Like, it just seemed like it's been over and over and over and over. We in Groundhog Day at this point.
It is, basically.
Every time I wake up, I'm like, what email is it going to be now? And it's always an email.
Goodness. Like, what are we talking about? Man, it's,
What you post? Let me go look at it.
He's ass.
But I'm effective.
I mean, both things can be true.
Okay. McKenna. Hi. I there's a lot going on.
There's a lot.
I meant to throw some of this in the group chat that we in yesterday, but if you're willing to help participate in this mission,
yes, by all means,
I will absolutely be getting in touch with you and Cindy.
Because when we done with this, we post.
Yeah, because
we post it.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
It really is.
1,000%. Did it post yet?
Yes.
Okay.
It still ain't posted me. Hold up.
Okay.
Oh, I see it. Hey, yo.
I'm just saying.
The same water that boils the egg softens the potato, y'all.
I'm just the same water that boils the egg cleans the ass. What the fuck are you talking about over
what is
there?
Happening? Like,
what
no shit. Doing? That's because they're fundamentally different things. You want to talk about truisms? Okay, let's talk about the truism. Let's apply it to this exact situation. The fucking egg would be you in upper management. The person who isn't having the same problems that everybody else is having by this situation.
No, Travis said that is shirt worthy. Thanks.
Like, bro, what are we talking about?
You know, if you don't want us cracking your head like an egg, you better give me my fucking money.
Right? Like, what?
How about that?
Gotta get boiled so we can't
You're right.
And this is what I'm saying. Like,
I get the yolk.
Terrible for you to say, for not even so. All right, so again, they moving forward, not even moving forward, hypothetically moving forward, because I don't want there to be a forward.
No, it should never be a forward.
Hypothetically moving forward, if this happens to get back to you, you need PR.
Thanks.
You need PR. You need PR, and you need somebody that is a clinician in some way, shape, or form in your top of your company.
You need PR those two things. You don't have BO.
Nigga.
Because this shit.
Because this. Y'all canceled the first meeting.
Right.
Right before y'all sent these emails out.
Right.
That should have been used as buying time.
Yes.
Buying time to explain to understand how I'm going to effectively communicate this to my staff.
Right.
Regardless of what your intentions are, regardless of how malicious you're being, regardless of how, because there is a universe where she literally just mishandled it. It wasn't intentional. She just mishandled everything at every fucking turn. Right? There's a universe.
There's also a universe where the water actually boils the potato and softens the egg. Like that shit.
I'm just saying. So with that being the case, right? why would you have him get on there and say something that wasn't pre-written? It's virtual. And if he did write that, why the fuck would you let him say that?
No, it's the way they did it, y'all. They did it like it was a closing prayer.
Right.
They was
No,
like,
oh
all
my!
right.
I'd have been
And then at the end, he was like, I ain't no pastor.
They really announced it like that. They said, this
I'd
is
have been
a
so
difficult
mad.
meeting and one of our newest people. Like, I love the way he motivates people. So I want him to go in and close. I want him to close the meeting out for us. And I was like, we about to pray?
Right.
Like, I want him to close the meeting out for us.
Yeah.
It sounds like a closing prayer.
That does. That's
Effectively.
exactly what that sounds. I'd
And
have
then
been,
he
I'd
got
have
on
been
there
so
and did
pissed.
that.
I'd have been so mad. Like you guys just don't. I would.
The
have
only
been
reason
livid.
I didn't like close the thing is because I was like, I need to hear what is he talking about?
Hold up. You need to hear him say something clearly. Is that what you did?
And it didn't happen. What he sound like, too?
He said, "Let me make things clearly."
What are we talking about here? I don't understand how you could have screwed this up so royally. Again, living in the universe where everything was, I can't even say above board. Yikes. Living in the universe where there was no ill intent and everything was just mishandled.
There you go.
How did you not get to a point where you said to HR, all right, what is y'all plan?
Right.
What is y'all plan to handle this situation? Tell me what y'all thinking. Okay, that can't happen because that's unethical. The board frowns upon that. We can't do that. What else? What else do you have?
That's why you need a clinician.
Right.
Because to say 24 hours means nobody has any idea what the code of ethics is for therapists.
That shit is ridiculous. Like, all of this is, it's triggering. Because I've had it happen before. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's definitely
I've never had it happen before, and it's still triggering.
You had one job. So.
Exactly. That's my point. I've had one job, and I've never had. So, all right, there was a situation a few years ago where something was potentially going to happen that would have drastically affected the entire workforce.
Ooh.
What did my company do? Hey,
what did it do?
Listen, this is what's going on right now. It's a little whiles down the road, but this has potential ramifications for the entire company.
Right.
These are the facts. That's bare minimum.
Right.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
That is bare minimum.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
What are you talking about? Now, it didn't end up happening. We ended up being good.
Right.
But that's not the point.
No, the point is, in enough time, you were informed.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yeah.
In enough time, you was informed.
I don't know. I can't not yell about this. Because every aspect of this is wrong. Like, on top of the fact that it affects me directly. Right? On top of that, you're talking about mental health, which is something that I take seriously. Like, unintentionally, maybe subconsciously, but unintentionally.
Right.
All I date is mental health workers.
No, he got a type. He done had
you got a type, bro.
Yeah,
and
like
listen,
it's not even. It's
I think
not
part of that might be a call for help.
Nigga, hey, listen. I'm not going. Hey, I'm not going to say it's not true. It ain't 7.
Listen.
It's 4 though.
Oh, 4 is
crazy.
That's a lot.
4 is still a lot.
Crazy.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I might hit some of them up. Like, yo, listen to what the fuck happened to this company. Because like this is absolutely crazy. This is like in all of the things that I was putting together. One word that kept coming up was betrayal.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's betrayal.
Yeah.
Betrayal.
To the employees and the clients.
I would like for everybody to like kind of just clue in to the very real fact that I'm still processing it. This nigga's had 4 therapists with girlfriends.
No. All of them weren't therapists. They were all mental
someone was psychiatrists?
I don't listen. again, they were all mental health workers. That's as far as I can. Yeah, I can't.
Listen, it's Chrissy.
And there was like a teacher in between.
Help him.
Nah, I've been
The man.
trying.
There was a teacher. There was a teacher in between.
At this point, we get married.
Hold up. You had a teacher. It was a teacher, right?
There was a teacher in between.
And she taught mental health.
No, I don't think. No.
Oh, I thought she was funny.
It was middle
He
school.
took a little break from.
Yeah, no, it was middle school. She was
You
middle
about
school.
to marry? You got a lifelong client.
I know.
Right?
Listen,
Shad,
look. I'm. No, I ain't gonna say that. But it was no. That was a middle school teacher. That's a little different. But yeah, like shit. I don't like it.
I don't like it either, bro.
That's an understatement, but I don't like it.
I don't like it.
A therapist, like your employees are a therapist this way, but still expecting them to show up and do their job.
Bruh.
And then wondering why therapists are canceling their sessions.
Bruh.
Therapists are having outbursts in their sessions. It's going bad right now, and you're wondering why, because y'all handled it the wrong way.
Yo.
Yeah.
Tim, let's say that you still work for the Department of Sanitation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you needed to measure some shit and the deadline was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So the only reason I mentioned deadline is to say that this is important. This can't like just be pushed off. You can't like it wouldn't work.
I already missed the deadline because today's Saturday, but go ahead.
No, I mean I'm talking about this Friday coming.
No.
No, not the days of the week repeat. No, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this, but the days of the week they repeat. So like
fuck, that explains so much.
Yeah. So you got something that matter of fact, let's not call it a deadline. Let's call it an appointment, right?
Okay.
You got an appointment for Friday, right? But you have to measure these things. And in the middle of the shift, I remove all of your measuring tools.
So that's a problem.
And then you get in trouble if you don't do it, though.
Yeah, you would get in trouble if you don't do it.
What I would do, first, I would get this measurement out using arms, feet, and shit.
Okay.
Do all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, when I pass the thing that I needed to pass, I'm gonna look you up. Cause listen, you're gonna make my life hard. I'm gonna make your life impossible.
Nigga. Cause clearly they playing with you.
They playing.
All right. So yeah. Telling somebody at 3 o'clock in the afternoon that they're not gonna be able to pay their rent this week. And then expecting them.
No wonder that octopus behind her is angry. That's wild.
Telling somebody at 3 o'clock.
Man, look at that mouth. That's it. And them furrowed eyebrows, like motherfucker.
Like, oh, you know that place you live that requires you to give them money.
Huh?
Yo, you can't do that this week. You know that vehicle that you have that you gotta use to get back and forth to work or take your kids to school or all this. Nah, you can't. Downhill. Yeah, you can't pay for that. You can't pay for that. Yeah, get on the skateboard or something.
You gonna start going down?
Yeah, get on a skateboard or something.
That was actually a comment from somebody that.
Oh, and on top of that, right? Wow. You still have to do the thing where you talk to people who have mental issues and they have problems in their life. You got to help them.
While you having this problem,
while you're having this problem that we just sprung on.
The crazy thing is, we already have to do that anyway,
right?
Because we still have lives.
Yep.
For the job to add on to it is wild.
Right.
Like, we already have to be able to do that. We could have had an awful day and we still have to show up for our clients, but the job should not be the thing adding to it.
No.
Right.
Shouldn't be. I mean, who am I? Who am I?
That's absurd. That's absurd.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
All of this is absurd. All of it. Man, the fucking politics of these damn jobs are bad enough at places that are functional.
Right. Nigga.
You know what I'm saying? They're bad enough with that. You're dealing with a place that's barely functional, and really getting a little beyond their skis and shit with the expand. We're going to expand this mess.
Right.
But, what?
Right. So again, another reminder, anybody on here that has heard what we've been talking about and they want to help in any way, make sure that y'all get in contact with one of the three of us individually.
Right.
Individually. So you can see what we have in the plan to see if you could possibly be of any help for this particular mission that we're going to go on. It's a worthy cause. When you got gangrene, you cut the foot off to save the body. That's how that's supposed to work.
What happens when you got gangrene of the brain?
Listen.
Yeah.
Lobotomy.
Yo, I'd have been so mad.
Would have been. All right, so Tim, I know you usually go first, but let's use I would have been so mad to transition into how our week was.
Facts.
So this news started as far as when we got the news, because they sent it out Wednesday after everybody clocked out.
Right.
And we got the news Thursday morning. This started the day before we were leaving for vacation.
I was supposed to get paid on that vacation.
She was supposed to get paid.
Oh, man.
That next day.
Damn it.
First day of our vacation. So, luckily, I'm in a situation where all these years of vacationing have paid off because I am in a position, by default, it's just my trained behavior to have extra money for vacation. It's just because I take so many vacations, I always try to make sure that when vacation time comes, I got a little bit of money that I can use to, take and spend on vacation. You know how that go. You don't want to be on vacation with no money because forget just fun things. Bad things can happen.
Right.
And you might need to get yourself out of it. Listen.
Bad things happen in this house.
Listen, you might need to get yourself out of a situation real quick.
That's true.
Might cost you a little bit. So, luckily, I have that built into me, beaten into me by myself. So, because that was not the first thing, but that was one of the first things that she said, not because it was what was important, but because it was what was imminent. We were literally leaving hours from the time that she found out that they were not going to be giving her money that she worked hard for the previous 2 weeks.
Right.
So the vacation ended up being okay. It was actually much better than okay, but this didn't affect the vacation. Thankfully, the way that it potentially could have. I mean, yeah, obviously, there's nothing we could have did about that one. That was So, Chrissy, go ahead and talk about the vacation.
The vacation was great. So we took. Okay, this all happened because I know the show was a while ago now. In December, we took my goddaughter to New York for her birthday, and James fussed on the show about how the accommodations were not great. The trip was. I mean, the trip was fine.
The trip itself was fine. Yeah,
but the accommodations weren't great.
Right.
He talked about
the person who planned it for Dion didn't know what the fuck they was doing, basically.
So James said, "Never again. Let me show you how I vacation." And at that point, we made this trip. For this Airbnb was beautiful. It was right on Atlantic City, like right at the water, basically. It was 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms.
Oh shit!
Yeah, the master or main, whatever they call it now. I don't know.
Yeah, master
anymore. They transitioned from that, but anyway,
it's supposed to. But no, it still said on the listing. It said master.
The master bedroom had a master bath with a soaking tub and a shower. His and her sinks, like gorgeous kitchen, gorgeous and I need that kitchen.
Nigga,
That kitchen.
I need that kitchen.
Yeah,
I was about to say,
really you that needs
CJ need
it.
that kitchen.
It's him that needs it by extension. I need it. So wait. Oh, okay. I was like, there's no Tim anymore.
No, Tim's still there.
Okay.
It's always Tim.
So the kitchen was beautiful. The whole place was beautiful. It was enough space for all of the kids and their shenanigans. And
believe me, there was plenty of shenanigans.
Yes, of course.
Nigga.
But we had a great time. We enjoyed ourselves. The kids had a great
That's
time. We got to explore the boardwalk. We got to I was drinking out of my Wet Willie's cup. It's water though.
This time.
Yeah, we know.
So yeah, we had a really good time. The only issue I had was the Airbnb. Like they need to do some like updates, some maintenance work. The refrigerator and freezer had some issues with running properly, and there was like a leak when you used the shower. It would like.
But not every time, apparently.
Yeah, it was really.
It was weird.
Long showers that it would eventually.
It was one of those situations where like just from what I experienced in my conversation with the people, I believe they don't ever go to the unit. Mm-hmm. They have people that come clean and shit like that. Like I don't think they ever actually come to the unit.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So we had a wonderful time, and the accommodations were great. The kids were like having the time of their life. They didn't even want to leave. Like one of them usually gets homesick, and she was like, "I don't want to go home." So, the drinks were good. The food was good.
I mean,
the kids were fed well. We played games. We had a great time. Can't wait to go back. Honestly, like it's a good getaway for like you don't have that long because it's like 2 hours to get there, less than 2 hours. So yeah,
keep telling everybody if you live in the Baltimore area, it makes more sense to go to Atlantic City than to go to Ocean City. Keep telling people that it is less expensive and it is closer, believe it or not. Even though it's 4 states away, it is closer than going to Ocean City, Maryland.
Yeah.
Also, they need to do something about the pier over there at Ocean City. Like I went last time I was over there, it was a few years ago. True.
Ocean City? Yeah,
Ocean City. But I wasn't going over there for that. I was doing my vlogging stage. My wife got into the vlogging thing. She wanted to interview this store owner that sold, did soaps and all that other shit. So we drove all the way, not to Ocean City, but close enough to one of them little towns. It was Burlington, some shit like that. And man, we decided to stop over there, Ocean City, and I was like, all right, I ain't been over here in a long ass time. I get out there, I look at that pier. I'm like, yo, y'all gonna do something about this? This shit look kind of crazy. Y'all not gonna modernize and something? The fuck?
Yeah, they do need some updates. My favorite place to go is still Virginia Beach. If you're 21,
I ain't been there in years.
But that drive, no, it's like 5.5 hours.
Yes, it is. No. Yes, it is.
But no, we had a great time. Can't wait to go back. Kids had fun. We had fun.
Good.
That's pretty much the trip.
Yeah.
That I'll say on the podcast.
Yeah. As always, there are a couple things that can't really be uttered out loud. It's just how that goes. I don't think there's no wedding watch. Nothing happened.
Wait.
Did anything happen?
I don't think so. You might be right.
Yeah.
Wedding watch is chill right now.
Yeah, because
it's about to get real though.
Well, sure.
Because we about to be under 6 months to go soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about to get real. Oh wait. We're talking about this is your week right now.
No, go ahead.
Because I was about to talk about this stupid name change.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. All right. So because of all this stuff, it's still connected. I already said I'm opening my business, and one of the things that I have on my list is to open my business bank account. So I got all the appropriate tax paperwork so that I can go open my bank account.
Right.
I sign up with Wells Fargo because I know that a lot of people work with them. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna sign up with them. I go to sign up, and then after I try to open the account, they send me the email that says they'll get back to me in 1 to 2 days, which usually is something's wrong.
Right.
So they call me. I missed the call because I was working. I called back, and he's like, "Hey, do you have another name?"
Oh,
potentially?"
damn.
Like, because of course you put your social in and everything. Like, do you have another name? And I was like, I used to
Hey,
have
James,
a,
red flag.
I used to have another last name, but I don't think I've ever had an account with y'all. Then I remembered, oh, my car, one of my I don't know if it was this car or the first car, but either way, I had an account with them, but it would have been under my old married name.
Right.
So I said what my old last name was, and they were like,
He was like, "Don't dead name me."
right. And they were like, yeah, that's what we still have. Like, you would have to come into the branch and bring your divorce decree and your ID and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, cool. I set an appointment. I go in with my divorce decree and my business paperwork, all that stuff.
Right.
So he looks at my divorce decree and he already is like, I don't know if we can take this because it didn't have the stamp on it. Now, the reason it didn't have the stamp on it is because I got divorced during COVID. At that time, they would basically just email you the your divorce paperwork and it wouldn't have the stamp. So
Okay.
you
Makes
could
sense.
you could request it, but I never needed it, so I didn't
Right.
request it. So he was like, I don't know if this is going to work, but we'll try. He said, but first and foremost, let me see your ID. My ID has Kristen Lewis, which is my legal name now. And their system has Kristen Starks, which is my past name. He says, okay, I don't know if I can change this because they don't match. They don't match because I'm here to change it. Like, what are you talking about? So then he looks at my ID, and my ID has my old address. But I went to the MVA and got the updated address card, which, if you know, that still stands as your address on your ID because the address card has MVA on it. It goes with your ID. You're supposed to keep it with your ID.
Right.
Because otherwise you have to pay for a whole brand new ID to get the address changed. So they usually just give you a change of address card. So he looks at that, he looks at the documentation, and he says, I'm not sure if this is going to work because the address is different. I said, but I have the change of address card. He was like, yeah, but you might have needed to bring in a piece of mail. Why? If I already have the address card that goes with my ID. So he calls customer service. That was a whole thing of him trying to explain to customer service, am I allowed to do this or is this going to get me in trouble? Sir, if you don't just change that shit, like, what are you doing? So finally the lady
But I'm
says,
scared.
Right. The lady says she doesn't have any open accounts currently, so just go ahead and change it. It's not like you're changing an account that's open. Her car account is closed. So just go ahead and change it. He says, okay, cool. After asking her 50 times, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? If you don't just change it. So he changes it. Then he calls, then he sends in my documents for my divorce decree. The guy gets on the phone, and of course he says, no, they can't use that divorce document because it doesn't have the stamp. So then he was like, well, I already started changing her profile.
Yeah.
Her profile to change her address. I've updated her address. Oh, well, you weren't supposed to do that because the names don't match. You had to change the name first.
You weren't supposed to do that, Kristen.
I said, I couldn't change the name because y'all wouldn't take the paperwork that I have. So at this point, I'm just like, you know what? Can you just close everything? And
Right.
he's like, what? And I was like, I don't want to do this
What?
anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Like, he's like, well, let me see if I can change, if I have to change your profile back. So I left there with my profile being changed back to the old address and the old name. Like, so now I'm not connected to y'all because that's not my name. So as soon as I left,
her name about to be different again.
And it's about to change again.
Right.
Like what? So I called the Baltimore County Court when I left out, and I said, because I already knew that when we go to apply for our marriage license, this same thing can happen, even though they have the records, because I'm going back to get another license. But sometimes you have to provide them with the paperwork. So I
would be very interesting.
Asked them, could they send me a certified copy of my divorce decree? And it's in the process of being sent to me. And then I called the bank that I bank with and said, hey, can I open a business account with y'all? What do I need? And they told me, and now I have to set an appointment for them.
Wow.
I was in there for over an hour.
Mind you, the reason that she went to Wells Fargo is because I have a business account with Wells Fargo. You know what I had to do to get a business account with Wells Fargo?
You had to sell stuff?
No, I had to tell them I wanted a business account. And it was done. I had to give them my EIN, and
Yo,
it
that's
was like, yeah, we'll get back to
that's
you with a
remarkable.
decision. And then 5 minutes later, hey, here's your new account number.
But for me,
pretty remarkable.
Now, to be clear, a part of that is probably because I already had an account, an active account with Wells Fargo.
I thought this nigga was about to say he had to do push-ups.
No,
Yeah, the
no,
run
no.
the
for a mile.
crazy thing is,
All I had to
they
do was
ended up
ask.
finding out that I had the account. It would have been easy too. The name would have matched.
Right, right.
They're like, and then the lady's like, "Well, can you look at her right now? Is it really the right person?"
Well, can you go to hell?
He even said, "I'm sitting with the client."
Not is it
Are you
really the
sure?
right person?
Oh, hold up. How do you know you're sitting with the client?
Right.
Right.
How do you know you're not sitting next to Rebecca Romaine
And
Stamos?
mind you,
I mean,
besides
as
the
Mystique
sign-
and
the
shit.
stamp, the document was signed by the judge and the magistrate,
My
and
God, man.
it said on there, at this time of this date, this person's name is formally changed from Starks to Lewis. She is to resume her maiden name of Lewis. So
Wait a minute,
all
you was
the
a Stark?
information was there.
You was a Stark?
I don't want to talk about it.
I was thinking Game of Thrones.
Yes. I either get Game of Thrones reference or, of course, Iron Man.
Of course.
That
Of course.
whole thing. But anyway, yeah, so that was a whole mess. So that's like the last thing I have to do is get my business account open so that my money can be separate so that I can appropriately do my taxes when the time comes. Even though, as my owner said at my job, I don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah, that's one of the
Wild. I don't know why I'm getting all these tax documents together since I don't have to pay tax documents. I don't have to pay taxes temporarily. So I don't know why I'm doing all this. Thank you.
Yo, that's crazy. That is insane.
Okay, so next in our week, Chrissy broke my cat.
I did what?
Whoa. You can't be saying shit like
That's
that.
exactly what happened. I don't care how it sounds.
What?
Chrissy broke my cat.
Chaos?
Yes.
I'm not breaking.
So I told y'all about his habits, right? So
Yeah, he's got bad ones.
yeah, not many. So weekdays, when I get up, he get up. Sometimes it's because my alarm went off. Sometimes I wake up just before my alarm, and it's because he heard me get out of the bed. Whatever the case. When I get up, he get up. I go take my shower. When I get out of the shower and I get out of the bathroom, I open the door, he runs in the bathroom.
Right.
I go in the room, put a little bit of clothes on, lay in the bed for a couple minutes. Before I get in the bed, he's at my feet. I have to pick him up and put him in the bed. I eventually, sure, absolutely. Eventually, I get up. I don't know. I can't fix it. It's broke.
He broke it.
Maybe. It's this. We didn't get a chance to test out this 3-man. So this is the first time doing the 3-man with this computer and this new software. So it's bound to be issues.
Right.
So when I get tired of petting him, I get up and get ready. I go downstairs. I feed him. Blah blah blah. Well, I contributed to some of this because I was off this week. So that ain't how that shit went.
Right.
At all. Not a single day. Now, there was a time or two where I woke up around the same time and I just got up and went to feed him.
Mm-hmm.
But, what was it, yesterday? Friday morning, I get up around the same time. Normally, right?
Right.
All right, good. Thanks, Spaghetti. I woke up around the same time I normally wake up. I get up. I don't hear him. Whatever. Go in the bathroom. Come out the bathroom. There's still no him. All right. Go in the room. Chrissy's up by now. Hey, I don't know where the cat is. She says, I don't either. No shit, babe. You just woke up. Yes, I'm aware that you don't know. Whatever. I was like, eventually, I'm like, she just woke up. Let me give her some time to get her bearings, and she'll eventually understand what the fuck I'm trying to
And
say.
they're creating problems and shit as soon as you get up.
No, nigga. If I said I don't know where the cat is, clearly I'm saying whatever. Eventually, she got it because she woke up. She's like, oh, babe, I don't know where he is either. I'm like, yeah, I know that. So she goes in the bathroom. She comes out the bathroom, no cat. Like, all right, let me go feed him. Because generally, wherever he is in the house,
It don't
when he
matter.
hears
He
that
had
can
can
open.
That's it. That's how it is here. It's like a stampede and shit.
He comes running. So I open the can, pause, look around. No cat.
Hello, hold up. Why did you pause when you say open the can? I don't think that has any.
I pause so that I can like see if he's there. Like, did you hear
Oh,
this?
you meant pause as an actual pause, not you said something.
No, nigga, I
Gotcha.
paused.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no. What? No, nigga, I paused. I opened the can. I paused. Look around. No cat. I take the can, the lid completely off because that makes another noise. I paused. Still no cat.
You put the lid back on and
I
did it again.
I put the food in this tray. Throw the can in the trash.
That suction sound don't make him come like that.
Still no cat. I don't know because by then he's usually there. So I don't know if that would do it or not, but still no cat. I go back upstairs. She get ready and everything. She had to be out. This was the Wells Fargo morning. She has to be out to be at that appointment. She comes down the steps. I come down the steps with her because where the fuck is the cat?
Right.
So
You have to make sure you talk about Dion.
yeah, Dion's on the phone with her by this point. And I
So
told
that
Dion.
APB out on the cat. Gotcha.
I told Dion Chrissy lost the cat.
How the cat don't go outside?
Because it's actually, turns out I was right. But I didn't know that at the time. I was just joking. So Dion was like, what you got locked in one of them rooms? I had checked. I had checked his room. I had opened up the studio. Wasn't in the studio.
He wanted
Some
some damn
said-
alone time.
No, nigga. Some said, he's in the basement, ain't he?
And Dion said it to you.
And sure enough, Chrissy goes over to the basement door, opens the door. He comes running out that bitch, telling
Where's
her
my
the
goddamn
fuck off.
Yeah, yo, cats kill me with that.
He ain't do nothing to me. He was cool with me. He was fussing at her. He came right over to me. I'm like, yo, go get your food. He said, steady fussing at her.
Listen, he has this new thing he does where if I go in the basement, he goes in the basement. But he has never. This is the second time, so now this is a thing. I'm about to close the basement door.
Yeah, he likes
comes
it
back
down
up
there.
when I come back up. But lately, he's been hiding and not coming up when I come up.
He likes it down there. Hold up. Do y'all got a lot of stuff down there? Just yeah, they love that shit. They love that.
So yeah, I didn't even. Normally, I hear his bell come down the steps. I didn't hear him. So when I went back up after washing clothes, I shut the door and we went to bed. Hence why he was in the basement.
He was mad shit.
Man,
He was mad shit down there.
nigga. Yo,
Like, I like being down here, but I don't like the door closed. You know? The fuck?
I was like, yo, that's crazy. So ever since then, he's been extra clingy, and he's running through every door that gets opened. Literally every door,
including
the studio. So remember, before he was very hesitant to come into the studio. He's been before today. He's been in the studio maybe like 6 times or something like that.
And he just lays down.
And when he comes in, he gets real low to the ground because it's unfamiliar to him. Nigga, today alone, he's been in this room 4 times.
That's what Tim was waiting for.
It's your She broke my cat.
Listen.
She broke my cat. He doesn't
Listen.
trust closed doors anymore.
We were always gonna end up right here. No matter what details you alter, no matter what you choose to change, we was always gonna end up here.
Dion says to Chrissy, he goes to protect you and in return you lock him down there overnight. Craziness.
I am severely injured.
Oh yeah, so because he don't like being picked up. I can do whatever the fuck I want to him. Like,
He usually lets me do him in the studio.
yeah. He doesn't
Yeah,
particularly
because you
like.
gonna put him out.
Well, he doesn't particularly like being picked by me either. I just don't care, right? So I hold him in a way such that he can't really hurt me.
So he will hurt you.
Oh no, that shit gonna hurt. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
That's my leg.
I don't let him. So today, when he came, one of the times it wasn't even the last time. One of the times that he came in here, he came in and where he walked, Chrissy had to walk around her chair to get to him. So when she picked him up, she was now stuck. So in trying to maneuver through the chair and everything, he started squirming and shit.
Yeah.
And then she had no choice but to drop him. But he felt like he was falling to his death. So he's trying to grab on the shit, and he leaves these two long ass chasms on Chrissy's knee. Basically.
Oh my goodness.
They were actively bleeding.
Actively bleeding for like 10 minutes.
Listen. I repeat. We were always gonna end up here because he's a cat. And these motherfuckers do have routines, but one of their routines
You know what's funny about that?
is to switch up their routine.
No, you know what's funny about that? When I just left the studio,
Mhm.
he was doing what he does every Saturday. It's
Yeah,
like he
routine.
knows. It's like he knows the days of the week, except when he doesn't.
That's it. That's it.
the thing. I open the door expecting him to run in here. No, this nigga do what he do every Saturday during the show. He is on our bed, laying down. No matter where he is, he finds his way during the show on our bed to sleep, to take a nap.
And I'm usually napping with him.
Right.
But if I have to leave, he'll go nap. If I'm downstairs on the couch, he might come down there and sleep next to me. I usually sleep next to me. But yeah, I think he's mad at me right now.
Yeah, he's a little pissed, but he'll get over it eventually. But again, like I said, a cat's routine is to sometimes break their routine. That's they are ridiculous. They are absurd in a way.
Yeah, I had to take time and specifically clean
Yeah, to
them.
pull out the McCurry comb.
Nah, peroxide though.
Oh,
Peroxide and some antibacterial.
the attack.
And some ointment. It wasn't even an attack. He thought he was dying.
Yeah,
Listen.
As far as he knew, that was it. He had to grab something.
Feel like an attack. Right.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Feel like an attack.
Because he wasn't frantic at all. He was still the same chill, annoying.
That's how I know. That's how I know it was a little bit of payback. Cause
Yeah.
if he thought he was, I'm dying. Listen, when these cats around this motherfucker think that something like that can happen, nah, they on some other shit with that. So, nah,
No,
no.
nigga, I mean afterwards. During the fall, he was flailing. I'm talking about afterwards, nigga.
Oh, yeah.
next month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Turns one next month.
Wow.
And I'm gonna get him a hat. And
I'm not involved.
Listen.
I'm not
I'm
involved.
telling
I
you
just
now.
want one.
I'm not helping
picture
either.
So I can post the.
You can do whatever he lets you.
I'm about to say he's gonna like. What the fuck is this she putting on my head? Scarf. You trying to
No, I'm
choke
not
me with
involved.
this thing?
I'm not
Oh
involved.
my goodness.
Nah, B, you can do it. I'll take the picture. But nah.
McKenna says, by the way, we rarely ever recommend hydrogen peroxide anymore. Usually best is just soap and water. Damn.
Well, we did hydrogen peroxide and soap and water and soap and water and soap and water. So
Right.
hopefully that was good enough.
Yeah. She won't lose her kneecap. Damn it.
Last week, creative shit. Amongst doing all this shit for the thing that we talked about first,
Right.
there was a lot to do. And I did that shit. But
Right.
on top of that, there was this thing that Tim brought up that I don't know if he'll talk about in full, so I won't say anything. That I started to really look into as far as doing. Then on top of that,
Oh no, I'm talking.
okay. Then on top of that, music.
There was
always music. I got a feature back that I was waiting on, and another feature that I was waiting on. The person informed me that they started working on, and then I had started making the preliminary steps in this EP, this collab EP that I have not told y'all who it's about, but who it's with, but I've given you clues. So that's the whole thing. This is about to get interesting.
Yes,
It's about to get interesting, and
gotta love it.
it's great. Like after I want to say 65% of this week, I've done nothing.
Right.
About a little bit between Wednesday, not even really Wednesday. I didn't really do much. So Thursday, most of my time was occupied with the stuff that we talked about earlier.
Right.
Doing things that have to do with that. Oh, okay, perfect. We did it right then. McKenna says we're using hydrogen peroxide just delays healing, so once as a rinse, but then only soap and water. Yes, that's exactly what we did. Okay, so Thursday I was preoccupied with that, but Friday, because I talked about this before, it's nobody's fault. It's where we are. I can't do certain of my things while Chrissy is doing certain of her things. Because we only have the one office. So
yeah.
Because Chrissy was out attending to other things, I had no excuse. I have this time. I'm not at work. Chrissy's not using the office. I have no excuse. So I came in here and I did some stuff that required the studio. And
you did some stuff that required the
studio. And those things happened. And luckily it was one of those times. Because there's times when you come in here and you have the desire to do something, but it just don't work out.
No.
There's been plenty of times. Because like I did last time, I will do it this time. I want to express and belabor the fact that this isn't a Chrissy issue. It's just the fact that we live together. Because there's plenty of times after work where she's not in here, where I might come in this bitch, have all intentions on, and then potato. A soft potato. A soft potato.
Not a hard boiled? Not a hard boiled egg?
No, soft potato. Soft potato. So that happens a decent amount of time. But yesterday, I can't cook. I think part of it was me getting that feature back. I got that feature back and I was like, damn, let me go ahead and do some things. So because of the transition to a new computer, I don't like that word anymore.
New computer?
Transition.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But because of getting a new computer, there are projects, FL projects, that do not open.
Yeah, and that shit. Listen, as much as I like getting a new whatever, that part of it for me for years has always been the hesitant.
Yeah. So this collab happened to be one of those projects.
Ooh.
Now, luckily, I still had the beat. I still got my voice. So I just redid the whole thing.
Yeah, but the problem for me a lot of times is that I got the performance I wanted the first
I got lucky.
Okay.
I got lucky. I sent because my intention, because my initial intention wasn't to just be a freestyle, and then my second intention was it to be a collab. I never did my final.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All
I
you
never
had
did my
on
final
there
tape.
was that initial
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
it was a good one that was passable. It just wasn't the final one.
And you planned on doing the final one anyway. So.
Well, to the point of it was good enough to have been a final one. Like if it got to a point where I was behind a deadline or something.
Yeah, you could have used it.
I could have used
fine.
that.
Nobody would have known that it was.
But it never was to a point where I was like, oh yeah, I'm not touching this.
Right.
It didn't get to that point. So luckily that was a thing, and I re-recorded it yesterday. And like I said, I'm still waiting for the other feature on that. But I sent, so after I recorded it and redid the whole thing and put everything together, I sent the other feature that. And I was like, no rush. This is just further context for your verse. And he was like, oh no, I'm on it now.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, all right. So while I was doing that, I was like, all right, let me hit the nigga up that I'm supposed to be doing the EP with. Like, yo, what you want to do? And he was basically like, what I dreaded. I'll be honest with you. I didn't want this to be the case, but I ain't mad at it. He was like, yeah, why don't you go ahead and quarterback this one? I'm like, shit. The only reason I said I don't want to is because I have less experience than this person. But it's a challenge. I'm up to a challenge. Whatever. So I went into the lab and into the archives. Like, all right, what do I have that's something that could be worked on? Boom, found this. All right, let me put some finished touches on this. Slide this over to him. Oh, what's this? Oh, so since you said I'm QBing this, I'm about to start sending you stuff, and you just hit me with the yay or nay. He's like, oh, big yay. I'm like, all right, cool. And like another one, and I was like, can I tell the story too?
Yeah.
All right, so I got another one, and I was like, all right, I love this beat. And instantly, this never happens to me. Instantly, a chorus came to mind. Like, instantly. I recorded the chorus. And when I recorded the chorus,
Yes.
even though it was the intention was for this to be for the collab EP, and it still is going to be on the collab EP, my first thought was, I need tune on this. Now that has happened before. That has happened with Liberty. That happened with Liberty. When I finished the beat for Liberty, I was like, oh no, I need tune on this. But it's never happened that I immediately had a chorus.
Right.
And when I finished the course, I'm like, I'm like, yo, I know I already bothered you about something such. Could you, yeah, I mean.
Yada, I mean.
And he was like, I can't remember the first thing he said. And then I was like, oh, he was like, oh, I thought you had me for, I'm like, yeah, but I hear you on this. Like, I already hear you on this. And he was like, bet. So that's the thing that there's no time frame on, huh? You gotta go.
Go to work. That's crazy.
You gonna do us like Divine did you?
Oh, that was ass.
No, yeah, she got that. That's why I had. That's why I had her. That's why I had her do the week thing. Yeah, because she has to get out of here. She got some plans that she has to take care of.
Oh, okay. Thought she was headed into Divine.
Oh.
Headed into Divinity.
I mean, listen. Actually, let me see if this worked.
Oh shit!
It's probably not going to work as smooth as it could.
If y'all get disconnected.
No, it's not going to disconnect. It's not going to disconnect. Disconnection isn't the problem. All right, so tell the people bye. That's it. Okay. That's good. All right.
Bye, guys.
Boom. All right. So here is one thing I have to do, but it should only take. Yeah, you gone already.
Oh, what?
I told you to tell the people bye. You said you put up the deuces, so I thought.
I said bye, guys. After that.
Oh, my bad. Listen. You ain't got to say nothing to me, but more than once. And boom, we in here.
Are we though?
Yes.
I don't gotta do nothing.
No,
I'm not on screen.
You are on screen. You just behind because you're looking at the YouTube.
No.
Shut up.
I'm not
Oh,
doing
I'm back.
Not you talking to him. Yeah, you in here.
I'm back.
So
Oh, I'm not taking this divine phone.
they can still hear you, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah, they hear you. So
But yeah, so I put that together. Tim was like, yeah. I was like, all right, boom, let me go ahead, slide it to yo. Like, hey, I came up with this concept. Here's the concept. Blah, blah, blah. Blue, blue, blue. And he was like, bet. So that's 2 down. I have no idea how many this is going to be for this EP.
Yeah.
No clue, really.
I'll be in that space a lot. I will
Yeah.
do like it's something I'm working on, and I have actually a bunch of beats
Mm-hmm.
that fit this thing. I don't know where I'm gonna land at with that,
Right,
but I'm
right,
taking my
right.
time. So
Facts. Ain't no
y'all
reason to
get
rush.
it. Y'all gonna get it,
Yeah.
but taking my time. That's actually part of my week.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this one doesn't take that long though, because the person who I'm collabing with is very quick with it.
Right.
Like literally, he hit me up like, yo, can you email me that beat that we talked about? That was, I want to say that was Wednesday.
Right.
And he was like, bet, I'm on it. And by Friday, I had his verse. So actually, I think Thursday night I had his verse.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that this is going to be that long of a wait. Like
Okay.
generally, when I first announce an EP, it'd be a little while.
Yeah.
But because of how everything has changed
Mhm.
with how we do this shit,
True.
yeah, it's not going to take as long as some of the other ones that I've brought up before. So, and there's the added benefit. For me, it's a benefit. Some people don't really work well this way, but the added benefit for me is I have somebody else that's waiting for me. Like
Yeah.
that helps. Like
That shit
generally,
don't
because
help
that's how I
me
am. That's how.
It don't.
That's how I am. That's how I am with all my collabs that I've done. Because all the features that I've contributed is because,
Yes.
like, oh shit, all right, you need this. All right, boom. Let me see. All right, let me get on this as soon as possible. So that's how I'm going to. Even though it's a true collab,
Right.
I'm still going to treat this like I'm featuring.
Right.
As far as oh shit, let me go ahead. So yeah, that's Let me see. Is that everything? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that's all my week.
So my week really revolves around my creativity, and also how absolutely tired I am of you monkeys. I really am, because we have to keep doing shit over and over again. So those of you who know me know how much into comic books that I am, so much to the point that I helped found a comic book company. And
I've seen that.
You've seen it? Yeah.
I've seen it.
And that in itself is really a dream come true. Let me give you the skinny on some things, though, because some of you here are Patreons. It is hard and it is tough work. It is. Mostly because comic books are not profitable. The reason is production costs are so high versus what we can sell them as. Now, indies have it a little slightly better in that regard because people kind of expect to pay more with an indie company for the books. But overall, even the big two are not profitable. Not with comic books.
Right.
They have parent companies that fund a lot of this shit. And even them, recently a news report came out that Marvel was paying a lot of their pit artists minimum wage. It's difficult trying to find something that resonates with people. Difficult. But we do it because it is very much, in large part, a labor of love. We grew up with that shit. It found ways to alter us and across the spectrum, from our own creativity with other genres to how we just deal with shit in life. That shit had a huge effect because comic books covers so many different genres, right? So I knew what I was getting into.
Mm-hmm.
I was under no illusions of that. But there are parts of this that I did not expect would be this way, and they are. You know me, I'm with all the smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. But I've always thought that just give y'all some free game. So as a company, we've been alive for about 3 years as a company. As an idea, it's been over a decade. So these 3 years, we have released 3 books. Not sure how many of you collect comics or have collect comics in your life. I know Biddy has, still does. But that is not sustainable. It's not sustainable in the sense of gathering an audience of readers. Why? Because comic books typically have ongoing stories, like a soap opera. And people are following along with the story. So if they don't get the next episode, there's plenty of other things out here to distract their minds from your shit. And what makes it worse, when you do put out something, after a long period of time, people then try to have to remember, parts of the story, they go back and read old books, all that, because it's been a lot of time in between releases. And on top of that, cost of production. Not just the cost to produce the comic book itself. No, not just that. To produce marketing materials, because what you're trying to do is capture the imaginations of the audience and have them feel drawn into your reality. Like my entire life, I've had a foot in this world and a foot in Marvel and a foot in DC and a foot in Image. And that's what you try to replicate for your readers. That is difficult because production costs are high. But I always had a dream. Well, not always, but in the last few years.
Okay.
That technology would get to the point where it would lower production costs. And I have said as much to my partners. Me and SPJ have talked about it, that there will come a time where the production costs will start to make sense with the price of the book.
Mm-hmm.
Because once it becomes cheaper to produce, we can produce more often.
Yep.
And then pass those savings on to
you.
Yeah. Yeah, basically you guys. Right? And that day is so close to happening that it's absurd.
Mm-hmm.
It's absurd how close it is. And I actually had to predict it for this year, just later this year. Didn't realize it'd be this soon. So with that, we talk about AI. Exactly, Biddy. Comics sustain a life. We talk about AI. AI is very controversial. The reason AI is controversial is a couple of reasons for that. One, Hollywood, for decades, fear-mongered using their content about AI. Everybody in here can think of a movie, 2 movies, 3 movies, 4 movies, 5 movies where AI was the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it stokes those primal fears that humans have always had about being replaced by something. Now, typically, it was another ethnicity. So you got a Homo erectus afraid that Homo sapiens gonna come in and do what they're gonna do. Get them the fuck up out of here and shit. Even in this country right now, there are people who feel like they're already replaced. Here's the truth. The truth is, we will all be replaced. In some way, shape, or form. You'll be replaced by your kids. There'll come a time where their level of importance exceeds yours. And you want it that way. You want it that way because you want your kids to thrive. And you know you ain't going to always be here.
Right.
Want it that way. Same for professions. Technology has gotten rid of a lot of professions.
Mm-hmm.
Created new ones, but there's still that gap where the people that can't make the adjustment fall by the wayside. It's unfortunate. Some of you have said, I wanted this to fold my clothes and cook me these expensive ass eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Not draw pictures or do this or do that. Let me put you on game. It was always going to be creativity first. Because every invention that we've ever had came from our imagination and creativity. That's the spark. How you got that light bulb? Somebody had thought, it'd be nice. That's how we get all this shit. It was always going to start there. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about narratives. Narratives get started in a lot of different ways. And sometimes you can't find the source of where that narrative came from. But in some cases you can. And we're going to talk about that now. So in this particular case, there is a narrative going around that AI bad. We got to protect the artists. All of that stuff. Half of y'all don't even buy these books. More than half of y'all don't buy them. Y'all don't keep up with this shit like that. There's other art out here. Y'all go to a festival and walk right by that shit. That artist trained all these years to figure out how to do this shit and get good at it, had a passion for it, draws his shit, puts it up there on the damn table at his favorite festival, and goes, I'm open for business. And y'all motherfuckers, most of y'all walk the fuck by.
Mm-hmm.
You know what a lot of y'all don't think about when y'all go move into a new house? I think I'm going to paint and put up there. Y'all don't do that no more. Y'all don't do that no more. So now this artist has to squeak out a living somehow doing the thing that he has passion for. And typically what happens is he winds up getting the job and does this other, his passion on the side.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens, right? And he spent a lot of money in a lot of cases to get good as they are. A lot of risk, very little reward to get the shit they got. And there's a bunch of elitists out there who could care less about your passion for your shit. They don't give a fuck about that. It's how can they commodify it, right? Make money off of it and shit. They want to. And they want to find a way to make money off of it without including you.
Mm-hmm.
And we see this all the fucking time with every genre of art. So I understand the anger at these tech burns. I don't like them either. I think they suck.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are bad people. That doesn't mean that the shit they made isn't useful.
Correct.
All that shit I said earlier about at great expense, artists pursue their shit. And I'm one for 40 plus years. Spent a lot of money. Haven't even made that money back, actually. I get it. But when some shit gets made that potentially changes all of that for you, when it lowers your cost, which allows you to put more of the stuff out. When many of you who don't even purchase art, who got accustomed to stealing music, back during the era of the Pirate Bay shit and all of that, stealing music and looking at musicians like they crazy for expecting you to spend money when you can get it here. Y'all fall in line with the narratives that about a particular technology that can literally help an artist who's been struggling and spending money and doing all these years. Finally, they got a chance to get just one up.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody gave you a narrative about how did they collect the data. Let me help you out. You gave it to them.
Facts.
Every last one of these social media platforms has a terms of service. Every last one of these other platforms that deal with you uploading your music because it's for music promotion, or uploading your art because it's for art promotion, has a terms of service. When they started this internet shit, we flocked to it. Saw how useful it was. Many of you same artists have utilized this technology called the internet to get fans, to promote your fucking work, and to make a living off of this shit. Me included. But in the process of doing so, you uploaded your baby. You put it up on different sites because you wanted people to hear it, because you thought it wouldn't be a cost to putting your shit online. All upside. Of course, there's a cost. Did you read that terms of service? No. And we can place the blame on the platforms, yes, for using all this legalese and making these long ass goddamn things with rules, responsibilities, and what we get and what you get, and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you know how this shit works. That terms of service is like a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And you've always been told, read the contract. But you didn't. And as a result, and I didn't either, and as a result, these motherfuckers made billions off of your data.
Mm-hmm.
And when a motherfucker like Andrew Yang comes along and says, yeah, they should be giving you some sort of a kickback, y'all can't hear it because you're so fucking caught up in what these billionaires say about how you should be living, or what you should value, or what should be important to you, that you can't hear somebody saying, hey, you workers need a break. Same way you benefited off the internet. Talking to you graphic artists and every other artist, every genre. Same way you benefited off the internet. And you have, many of you have. That came with a cost of your data. It is what it is. Trying to retroactively go back to a time when they don't have your shit is impossible. It's not happening. It's not happening. And you're being childish at this point. You can be mad at them for their unscrupulous behavior. I am too. But I think you're bugging if you tell some indie who spent a bunch of money to do the shit they do, and now the new tool comes out that can help them spend less money to do that shit, that they shouldn't do it. Because somebody sold you a narrative that this is bad. This technology is bad. Yo, Henry Ford was an anti-Semite.
Yep.
Y'all motherfuckers still using Ford cars. Streaming is bad for the environment. You're still watching streams. your cell phone and the components within was made via a sweatshop. Y'all selectively choose what you want to be angry about. I had a friend of mine on my timeline say, y'all don't hate AI, you hate capitalism. Bingo!
I mean,
You hate the commodification of these things because what winds up happening is the people with the worst intentions make a shit ton of money off of it. But if you think for one moment that you as an adult should not be held responsible because you signed the terms of service and didn't read it,
right.
and now you're going to be pissed at artists who say, yo, I can save a shit ton of production costs and put this out quicker and put more of it out, so I might as well do it. And then you go and say, we don't fuck with you because you use that. You're ridiculous, especially since a lot of those narratives that are being formed by elitist companies, the same motherfuckers y'all don't like, who just want to use this shit themselves and don't want you to use it, i.e. record companies.
Yep.
When record companies was suing Suno and suing Udio, they wasn't suing them to protect your goofy ass. They were suing them because they already had a version of that shit in their big master plan. Finally, after all these years, was to get artists out of this shit. Get us the fuck out of here. Why? Because y'all want to get paid for the shit y'all make. Who does that? They wanted to get artists the fuck out of here. For years, they said shit like, this would be a great business if it wasn't for the artists. Because they want all the money themselves. What better way to do that if you already have some sort of machine that can make the music and make the voices, then y'all come up with the hit songs knowing that the consuming public don't care. They just want to slap. Only time they're going to care is if somebody forms a narrative to make them care about it. If it slaps, they're going to listen to it. They're going to bob their head to it. They're going to play it in their car. They're going to go to the club. They're going to sing the shit. They're going to do all of it. That was the big master plan. Now, they fucked up when they released that little bullshit, that little AI rapper. They fucked up, but this was the plan. They already, all these tools that are now being made available to us indie musicians, they had that shit already. And the big plan was to cut us out. And they got mad when these companies said, well, fuck it. I'm going to make money selling it or selling a subscription to this to the indies or the people out there who don't have the big budgets. That's what I'm going to do. And then when they do it, first thing these companies did is demonize. Find a way to demonize. Oh, that ain't even, why they using that? Well, let me ask you a question. Beforehand, when motherfuckers was doing music, how many of you really knew how they made that shit? How many of you really knew all of the equipment that's in that fucking studio or all the goddamn techniques, recording techniques? How many of you knew that shit? You didn't know and you didn't care. If it slapped, you was on it. Some of these same people now being all righteously indignant about AI, the usage of AI, was stealing music.
Fact.
My shit was on Pirate Bay and a few other of them motherfuckers. And I'm an indie. So it wasn't like it's another company that's getting the money first and cutting me and like breaking me off a piece.
Right.
That's straight to come from consumer. So when somebody pirates my shit, I don't get that. And they still said, fuck it. Fuck you. Why would I pay? I've literally heard people during that era going, pay for music? Why? I would never. They had no problem taking that shit. Got whole folders on their computer full of music they fucking stole.
Yeah.
And didn't pay the artist. And now y'all getting precious about this. That selective bullshit you're doing there doesn't really help the artist. Whoever's telling you that, oh no, we being shit. Most of these artists don't make money off their art. It's a fact. Even now, somebody told me in business a while ago, owning 100% of something that makes no money does nothing for you. I'd rather own 20% of something that makes me money on a regular basis than 100% of something that doesn't. Big old fat fucking goose egg. It's filling up space on your hard drive. You don't understand that because you don't do this. Most of you don't do this shit. Same shit happened with DSLRs. There was a segment of photographers that looked their nose up. That's not real photography. Is it? Interesting. Years later, I dare you to find somebody that still develops film the old way. If they do, it's so small, it's like finding Loch Ness monsters. They did that same shit with that. And now, nobody cares. Every photographer I know has a DSLR or has had one. Nobody says that they are not photographers.
Right.
Nobody. So I recognize that with every new innovation, this is what happens. People freak out, but the reason it's worse now is because we do have an internet. So these ideas get passed around. But you penalizing some low indie for just trying to save his production costs to do the shit that he likes to do is crazy.
Facts.
And a lot of people ain't going to speak up about it. I wasn't going to say too much about it myself because there's always going to be some backlash. Always. I can't speak for nobody else, so I'm going to speak for me. Me being able to take characters that were originally created by me and designed by my crew and hand-drawn, me being able to put that shit into something that allows me to use these characters again and again in different scenarios with promotion and stuff like that saves us so much money and so much time you have no idea.
Right.
No idea. And Alpha One will not be ashamed of that shit. Especially when I know how fucking hypocritical motherfuckers are about all of that. A lot of people scared to say something. Because public perception. It'll change, but in the moment, it can bowl you over. And then years later, when everybody accepted it, you still lost shit. These people that had the balls to say something like, yo, I gotta tell you, shit's convenient. I mean, I know we don't like how they did it, but
right.
We use shit all the time. We don't like how they got it made.
And
what makes it worse is, like I said, the majority of you don't purchase art. You don't. Struggling artists would not be a thing. That term would not be a thing. Y'all walk and say, oh, that look nice. Keep it pushing. That man spent gas money to get to this festival or this place, this pop-up shop, whatever. He got tools and equipment and all that other shit. See, at the end of the day, what will wind up happening is all of the fussing about that and the arguments and the vitriol and all that shit, what's going to happen is motherfuckers, it's going to be integrated in a whole bunch of shit. Everyone's going to be using it. And this is not something that's coming. This is already here. All of you that use Adobe has a bunch of AI in it now. Motherfuckers that use DAWs, digital audio workstations, has a bunch of AI in it now. Soon it's going to look real silly for y'all to try to single people out going, you use AI. No, you use AI. Y'all going to look silly. I had a conversation with a good friend of mine this morning about that very thing. That very fucking thing. And it's so bad that he doesn't want to connect his stuff to it. Not because he thinks this is awful, because public perception, the witch hunt.
Yeah.
The witch hunt. Y'all be going after the wrong fucking people all the time. And I know why, because it's easy. It's easy. The only thing I saw that was the opposite of that should have been happening was the way motherfuckers taking it to Tesla.
Yeah.
For the first time you motherfuckers actually went at something that was up here and not punching low to the little indie that's trying to get his shit together. So when that tool came out, for me this week, it's been about testing the limits of it, seeing what it can do, what it can't do, what I should do with it, what I shouldn't do with it, how I can create with it. And it still takes a lot of work even to create with that, but it's faster than the last thing. Because it's not perfect. It makes mistakes.
Facts.
Re-roll it, blah, blah, blah. It's that never.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not perfect. Take hours sometimes to do certain shit. But it's still a shorter period of time than it would take had to do it the other way. Like I said before, my life has revolved around creativity. Since I was fucking 13. This ain't the first comic books I wrote. I wrote the script for comic books years ago before any of you knew me, before I even had an audience. But I did not know what the fuck to do with it. And the particular artist that I had, he was really good at character design, but horrible at everything else. Landscaping, all of the other environmental shit that you need to do. Wasn't good at that. And there was an internet, but it wasn't like it is now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it is now. You know what I'm saying? But again, that irritated me this week to see people do that, because there are people with very valid reasons who have a distrust for those tech burns and for what they do. That's valid. That's legitimate. But try to take that shit out on little indies who just trying to find a way up, and chances are some of their shit was used to train this shit. So why should they not be able to get some kind of benefit from it? It's crazy. And not holding yourself responsible for filling out these terms of service, because my mama on Facebook, and all my friends on Facebook, and I'm going to go on Facebook too. That's a lot of stuff to read. I'm not reading that. I don't even understand 80% of the words on this. I find that to be crazy. We got to have some responsibility. We got to. It's easy to make a boogeyman, but we did that shit too. That's it, Biddy. Buy art from living artists. The dead ones don't need it. They don't need it. Motherfuckers be out here really going through it to produce art, and have for years. And y'all that romanticize the struggle way too hard. Not just even in this and everything. Y'all that romanticize that struggle shit a lot. We can respect the fact that people had to struggle, but we should also be doing things to stop the struggle, to make people not have to struggle. And sometimes that's going to come from places we don't like.
Yeah.
My daughter, when she leaves out of this house, can call me if something happens. I can get in contact with her if I'm worried about her, because she has a cell phone. How that cell phone was made, janky as shit. Janky as a motherfucker. My wife can go long distances in relative comfort in a car. But what that shit be doing to the environment, fucked up. These are challenges. We got to face them. Just punch at the right people. That's all I'm saying. Punch at the right people, because I watched you motherfuckers use every new app that came out that used AI to make pictures, funny pictures of yourself. I just watched you motherfuckers do that shit. I just watched you motherfuckers do that shit in the last week. I watched you do it before with all those other little apps that came out. Oh, look at my picture of me looking like this. A picture of me looking like that. But then somehow something switches and you get on a soapbox and you start talking about, oh, I can't believe you be using that AI stuff.
Mhm.
Are you nuts?
Yes.
Possibly. So I'm gonna continue to do what I do. And I'm going to put together some dope ass shit. If you like it, cool. If you don't, not like you was gonna buy my art anyway.
Hmm.
Shout out to my fans, the ones that have been supporting me for years. Them people outside of that, I don't give a fuck. Honestly. That's my week.
Well, I mean, that's all the time we have today, folks. Can't have the tea stuff.
Just saying. Just saying. So we want to thank all of you once again for joining us for another rousing edition
Yeah.
of the Black Culture Geeks podcast.
Yeah.
You guys just saw Chrissy telling you about the shit that's going on. Be sure to support her podcast.
Yeah.
They don't use AI over there.
That's funny.
Go support her podcast. Heard it through the grapevine. Also, there's music. There is always music. SBJ talked about some new stuff that's coming down the pipe. I got some new stuff that's going to come down the pipe. We'll check that out as well. Don't forget my man Super Sci Guy and Hendrix Meta the Mutants podcast. Please do. Go check theirs out as well. And, you know, any other musicians out here, like Biddy said, buy art from living artists. The dead
Thanks.
don't need it. And then come back and tell us how outraged you are about data that you gave away freely. So for my man SBJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.
Peace.